May I live on the mountain waiting for so long. Do you know how to do the dance? Let's go. My head. I know feet. I believe I play defense.
This one be for my mommy. Be for my puppy. This be for everyone. This be for Konogu Zongo. I love you guys so much. One time.
Everybody say yo. Say yo. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say puff, puff, pass. My Mary Jane.
For the second time running, Kiddy wins the Artist of the Year for 3 Music Awards 2022.
Shouts to every artist in this category. Shouts to you, Blacko. Love to you, my brother. Shouts to my team. Shouts to the fans. Charlie. Shouts to the DJ. Shouts to my family, my mom, Ambi. I know you're watching. Thanks to you, Ghana. I appreciate you so much. More music coming. I love you guys so much, man.
So allow me. Oh, allow me. Oh, allow me. This problem not the future.
Absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
the scenes, we get a big countdown from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. It's the 3, 2, 1 that gets you a bit nervous. But just because we know you are watching the show with us, we're excited to be here with you every morning. Welcome, 7 o'clock on the dot. It's Culture Daily. Welcome to 3 Music's morning show. The whole team is geared up to give you a fantastic 3 straight hours of pure discussion. You know, you put it in anyway. But it's Wednesday as well, and guess what? It is for the ladies. So let's switch camera to Lenny. Yo.
On fire.
How does it feel to be a woman?
How does it feel? It feels really good. I don't think I want to come as a man. God is a woman.
Listen, we have to do this comparison. Yeah. Okay. Charlie, like, look, women, look at the things you go through as women, you know? Like, in as much as we appreciate it, I don't want to be in your shoes, like, basically.
We also don't want to be in your shoes.
Why wouldn't you want to have life easy?
Why would you? Why are you carrying burden? Men don't have life easy.
Why are you carrying burden?
Oh, wow. Wow. It's sometimes...
Jay started early.
Yeah,
I started very early.
Too early. Why are you, what?
Are you
carrying burdens?
Yeah.
But I mean, these are burdens you guys like as well.
Yes.
And even we ladies like to see.
We don't want to carry permanent. We want to carry temporary.
Temporary.
That's and when. Necessary.
When the need arises. So, like I'm saying, we're
too early.
Yeah, too early.
Oh,
this is 3 points. 3 points. St. Peter's has got 3 points.
Thank you.
That was dope.
Thank you.
Well done.
Anytime.
Welcome. That's when the need arises. Well, it's Wednesday. It's Woman Crush Wednesday. It's a special day that, I don't know, by our own culture, we have, sort of given it to recognizing women and, just giving them some, recognizing them for their... What do we recognize them for again?
For contribution.
For their contribution to society.
Tenacity.
I was going to go for beauty.
No, I mean, you don't have to recognize a woman for her beauty because the beauty is outstanding. It stands out even though it's not standing outside.
Hey.
Bass,
right.
you know shout bass.
No, I was taking notes. The beauty is outstanding, even though it's not standing
outside.
It's not standing outside. Well,
right.
But yeah, for everything.
Thank you very much.
For everything they do, for the time they put into work, dedication, having to multitask as wives, as mothers, as career women, even as housewives and all of that. It's a big deal.
Personalities.
It's a big deal being a housewife. I don't know why people look down on people who are housewives. Listen, you have to just make sure everything is spick and span all the time. Your children are well fed, well taken care of. Your husband as well. It's a lot. It's not easy. You understand?
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah. So I mean,
is your boyfriend watching?
For everything.
We want to shout him out.
Which boyfriend?
The guy you were talking about.
Which guy?
Oh, Jay, you mentioned the guy.
I didn't mention
Charles.
any guy.
Charles.
Who?
Charles.
Hey.
Charles.
It's a lie.
So you want to deny him?
It's a lie. I'm not denying anybody.
It is well. It happens. Showbiz.
It sure happens.
It's for your protection.
I'm not denying.
We're going to take care of him.
I don't.
Well, so this morning on this.
There's nobody really. There's nobody anywhere.
Producer is telling me you've saved the number as you on your phone. It's just you on the phone.
You is an alphabet or. I don't know who you're talking about.
I'll tell you a story about, a friend of mine who we got a call, boys sitting down, we're all chatting, he gets a call, it's TV repairer 1. And then he picks a call and then he says, hey, hello. And I'm like, hey, bro, no kind of TV repairer.
It's a foreign TV. It's a foreign TV. The TV is from France.
Hey, let me say shouts to the one and only Bobby Wayne. I know he's not in town, though, but shouts to the one and only Bobby Wayne. I know if we're doing the watching, we'll cut this part of the video for you and send to you. But, it's Wednesday, and today we want to focus on our women. And our women in our industry, in our showbiz creative arts industry. And these women gatekeepers that, sometimes we feel this is a male-dominated space. But clearly, if you drill down to the women in the powerful position, the people in the powerful positions, they are women. We'll list a few of them later on, but welcome to Culture Daily, guys. I mean, hey, so on the other side of the women, what are we looking at? I mean, on the other side of the women.
Which other side?
Jay, we need to make sure he takes his medication.
On the other side of the show, what are we looking at? Aside the women, I meant. We'll come to the women.
Okay, so I just saw pictures and videos of DJ Khaled and Berna in the studio, and I know they are cooking up magic, literally.
After the lobster.
Yeah, so they'll serve us some magic really, really soon, which I'm looking forward to. I think Berna is is up to something and on to something at the same time, because I mean, he's just giving the world what he's supposed to give, living people's dreams literally as an artist. I mean, he's gone from Nigeria to global, which I think it's a good thing for any artist. So yeah, that's really good. And then I'm talking about DJ Black Coffee as well, who has, talked about how he's been able to garner certain awards and gain recognition regardless of his state, right? Yeah, that and more in Unpacking and Trending later on today.
Wow. Well, Cyril, I mean, hey, don't demoralize us just yet, but which footballer or which sports personality is bagged enough money again to showcase and show off?
This week I'll be fair, so there's nothing demoralizing for now.
Okay,
maybe tomorrow I'll change my mind. But we are going to definitely end an argument. A long argument. One of the highest running arguments in football. And it will be very exciting when we come to the conclusion. I've been right all along. That's all I'll tell you.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I think yesterday's conversation about Prince David Osei still is on the trends this morning, and people are still going hard at him with regards to the statement he put out there.
Yes.
But what I want to understand is that don't you have a right to be wrong?
No, you do.
Charlie, the bars this morning, don't be small.
Hip-hop daily.
Because everyone has dropped the bar so far. But I think that it's how you put things across, right? And also, I think we are human, first of all. We make mistakes, right? But people hold you to a higher standard as a celebrity. So maybe he could have come out to apologize first before saying whatever he had to say.
The argument is not that. First of all, we're not saying here. Let's clear that before we put ourselves in trouble. We're not saying that maybe something that the president is doing is wrong, or somebody's decision to vote for a certain president is wrong.
No, it's not wrong.
So what we're saying is that Prince David Osei is saying that he threw his weight behind the current president. And he feels now that he feels disappointed. That's Prince, because maybe somebody else is not disappointed at all. And it's politics, it's governance. I mean, it's never going to be easy.
Yeah.
So but it's just let's just understand that we are only discussing the fact that people are still talking about.
Definitely.
Definitely
not his choices, but what he's come out to now.
Yeah, but I feel if somebody feels he's being honest with himself about something, people shouldn't troll him for that.
I think he's being honest about it is fine, but people's main beef with him is that he fought the people. He fought the majority with the whole fix the country versus fix yourself thing. He was one of the biggest advocates for fix yourself, telling the people that they were the problem. If you fix yourself, the country will fix. And then he's now backtracked on that, saying that, he was wrong.
And then
he's trying now to organize, when people were trying to organize.
A demo.
And he poured water on everything.
Now you are the one trying to.
So people are trolling him for the fact that he's resorting to the same solution
that he denied and prevented a while back.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
So it's not really about his allegiance for what party.
The first thing he should have done was to apologize.
Yeah.
Because as humans, we are susceptible to doing wrongs. Exactly. Yeah. So he should have just apologized and said, well, I'm sorry, I know this is what I said some months back, but this is the situation now, and I think that we should do a demo. Yeah. That's how come people kept coming at him and saying, unless he uses his friends and family for the demonstration and all of that. Yeah, I mean, he should have just apologized.
16 people with placards.
That's sure going to be interesting. Yeah. More trends there. Has anybody already got any updates on Miss Grada?
She was denied bail.
Yeah, she was denied bail.
That's good. Yeah, the police. Grada, she was denied bail, didn't it? Yeah.
Agradizi. That's how Kojisho
mixtape coming soon. Cash up.
But what was the actual story? What did she do to the church? I mean, the congregation.
So it's purported that she took money from her church members to say that she was going to double their money, which is the Sika Gari thing that she's known for. She was known for that when she was on the other end of the spectrum, if I should say. So it's just the same thing that she did. And she wasn't able to double the money like she said she would. So people were angry.
You know the part that God did for me? when she was going back into she was being escorted back into the vehicle and she was singing praises, you know. like Gradizi.
Ever since God stopped throwing lightning rods at people.
I know, right? The world has been, people are misbehaving.
People are misbehaving. Like that song she was singing.
Anyways, well, so there's a lot to talk about on the show this morning as well. Let's jump into our song of the day to start us on this fantastic journey of Culture Daily.
Standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clamanya. Make some noise. They loved them. They loved them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty, and everyone else.
He said 6, that's a lot of it.
Where have you been though? Where have you been? You?
I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugar cane sweet, but what is sweeter?
Hey, hey, hey.
Someone on me sweet, little ginger. Hey,
okay, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you never travel out, the respect for the hustler. You follow away, just a quality. Back again for me coming, I am so my life. I can't wait to be back, I know you miss me, I know. Remember you never travel out, the respect for the hustler. You follow away, just a quality. Back again for me coming, I am so my life. I can't wait to be back, I know you miss me, I know.
This one.
It's live on TV. I know your jaws are dropping too and going like, wow, what are these Nigerians doing? You know, I spent a couple of minutes a few days ago watching back-to-back, adding on to the algorithm to watch more Nigerian videos. And I just said to myself that, you know what, like, let me just be real with myself and let me say this as it is. These guys are so Americans. Americans themselves can't be Americans no more. I mean, and they are so gone into the craft, you know, so far gone that, like, it would take us a new wave of a generation.
They've broken a code we are yet to break.
Like, you know, it's, I don't know, but check that video you just saw right now, and that is, what's the song title again?
Call me every day, bro. Call me every day. You saw the girls in the video. That was the message you tell all of them. Call me every day.
Wow.
Sister, did you see it?
I did.
Did you see the chocolate?
It's actually a really beautiful.
Did you see the mocha?
It's a beautiful
Did you see the
video.
cappuccino?
It's a beautiful video.
My goodness.
The
Very
video
beautiful.
is on point. And you know that the part that kills me?
Which one?
So the overhead shot that they take. They are
The
standing,
perspectives are different.
Yeah, the perspectives are different. Like, that is...
Overlay on overlay on overlay. Charlie, I need Panadol.
Jay can take it. You can take it, eh?
Sister, none of
It's
us
too
can
early.
take
You know,
it.
It's a really good...
standing in between music royalty right now. The Sugar Daddy and the Clamanya. Make some noise. They loved her. They loved her.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty, and everyone else.
He said 6, that's a lot of it.
Where have you been though? Where have you been? You?
I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
She got cane sweet, but what is sweeter?
Hey, hey, hey.
Someone on me, sweet little ginger. Hey, okay, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you know a traveler, the name is my food and hustler. Far away, just a Kuala. Back again for me coming, I am swear my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know. Remember you know a traveler, the name is my food and hustler. Far away, just a Kuala. Back again for me coming, I am swear my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know.
This is my first award for Ghana here. I dedicate to every kid with a dream, bro. I be like you. You go to be like me, bro. Your dream is still valid, man. I bear with you. Love to you guys so much. I love you.
I'm so grateful. God bless you.
Keep making the gospel proud. The gospel has so much for Ghana. Thank you.
Congrats to everyone who's been up on the stage and everyone who's been nominated.
Who is going to win the Artist of the Year?
Your baby, your baby. Everybody say I demand, but I don't mind. I'm gonna dance for you, my baby. Shake for you, my baby. Wine for you, my baby. Hey, me and you all the time. Dance for you, my baby.
I think it seems like a celebration, but this is a motivation for me to come back stronger. Younger kid.
With you, but you know they get enough time for me. I wanna live with you. I got it easy, why I can't let. See, that you never lose to you. Hey, man, them so fat. Oh, that you never lose to you. It's a man, them so fat. Find your love.
This award goes to my team. I appreciate you guys so much. It's imperative to me that I give and dedicate this award to my team. Shouts to you, man. Love.
May I live on the mountain waiting for so long. You know how to do the dance, let's go. My head. I know feet. I believe I play the best.
This one be for my mommy. It be for my puppy. This be for everyone. This be for Konogu Zongo. I love you guys so much. One time.
Everybody say yo. Say yo. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say puff, puff, pass. My Mary Jane.
For the second time running, Kitty wins the Artist of the Year. But 3 Music Awards 2022.
Shouts to every artist in this category. Shouts to you, Blacko. Love to you, my brother. Shouts to my team, shouts to the fans, Charlie, shouts to the DJ, shouts to my family, my mom, Mambi, I know you're watching. Thanks to you, Ghana. I appreciate you so much. More music coming. I love you guys so much, man.
So I love me. Oh, I love me. Oh, I love me. It's problem not the picture.
Standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clamanya. Make some noise. They loved them. They loved them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
Manager for Uber is a woman. Marjorie Saint, the whole West African.
That's nice.
It's a big woman.
That's nice.
So there's a lot of women in the tech space. 1RPM country rep Delali is also a woman. Liza Boomplay. So the girls.
That's really nice. Now that would also bring me to why women are in these top-notch positions. It's really nice. You know how they say that women are good at multitasking, and there's always that mother, there's always that mother factor.
Head of editorial.
I don't know what these two people are on. I really don't know what these two are on. Today, have you taken your pills?
No.
Okay. That goes to explain.
He took some
that goes to explain.
The guava dog from yesterday is still hitting.
Right. That makes so much sense.
For that name, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's a really nice name. I told you yesterday.
All the guys make we share the patent. Yeah, so.
It's a really nice name. But yeah, I think women are doing amazing things in all of their positions that they are in. So, I mean, we have other people.
Let's not forget the Marriott fight. As we are saying these things, we have to also say that.
You know what killed me? I don't know why she paused on
amazing
all the positions they are in. I don't know why you paused on that.
I'm just saying.
I don't know why you paused on that.
You see, I didn't even say
with. Let's not forget the Marriott fight. What happened at that? What happened? What was the cause for that fight? We saw two women. There was a video trending with two women who were fighting at a hotel.
It was a man. What else?
No, there were two women fighting over a man.
Over a man, yeah.
You're not describing the thing. The
video was because of
one
a
woman
man
breaking a bottle on the other woman's head.
It was because of a man.
So they were fighting.
It was rather unfortunate.
Today we celebrate everything.
It's rather unfortunate. No, but you know, with these things, I think that the person's emotions and the ability to control their emotions also come to play. Because in the same way, you'd have a wife who is well aware that the husband is cheating, but still not say anything. You have a wife who is well aware the husband is cheating and even contribute to the cheating by buying him latex, right? So I think it's just about emotions and how well you control your emotions, so you don't have to go that far.
Maybe it wasn't her day. Maybe the other
There's a lot to discuss.
You really can't judge with these things, right? Because so many
it's
things
unfortunate regardless.
Exactly.
Everybody saw the
really
video
unfortunate.
To see the woman on the floor bleeding out, blah blah blah, is very, very bad.
Really unfortunate.
Yeah, so. Very bad. Anyway, we'll still celebrate women regardless, and that's what we are doing this morning on the show. Let me say happy birthday to you, Fritz Zuta. It's your birthday today. Big shouts going out to you and your clothing line, Afri Clothiers. Well done, bro. Celebrate the day to the max. All right, let's get into some motivation with our starter pack this morning. Check out the lyrics coming on your screens.
standing in between music royalty right now, the sugar daddy and the clown man. Make some noise. They loved them. They loved them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty, and everyone else.
And he said 6. That's a lot of it.
Where have you been though? Where have you been? You?
I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugar cane sweet, but everybody sweeter. Hey, hey, hey. So follow me, sweet little ginger. Hey, okay, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you know a traveler, the respect for the hustler. Far away, just a qualala. Back again for me coming, I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know. Remember you know a traveler, the respect for the hustler. Far away, just a qualala. Back again for me coming, I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know.
This is my first award for Ghana here. I dedicate to every kid with a dream, bro. I be like you. You go to be like me, bro. Your dream is still valid, man. I dare with you. Love to you guys so much. Love you.
I'm so grateful. God bless you.
Keep making the gospel proud. The gospel has so much for Ghana. Thank you.
Congrats to everyone who's been up on the stage and everyone who's been nominated.
Who is going to win the Artist of the Year?
Your baby, your baby. Everybody say I demand, but I don't mind. I'm gonna dance for you, my baby. Shake for you, my baby. Wine for you, my baby. Hey, me and you all the time. Dance for you, my baby.
I think it seems like a celebration, but this is a motivation for me to come back stronger. Younger KA.
With you, but you know they get enough time for me. I wanna live with you. I guess it isn't why I can't let. See, you never lose to you. Hey man, them so fat. Oh, can you never lose to you? It's a man, them so fat to find your love.
This award goes to my team. I appreciate you guys so much. It's imperative to me that I give and dedicate this award to my team. Shouts to you, man. Love.
For so long, you know how to do the dance, and so my head. I know feet. I believe I play defense.
This one be for my mommy. Be for my puppy. This be for everyone. This be for Konogu Songo. I love you guys so much. One time.
Everybody say yo, say yo, say sugar daddy, sugar daddy, say sugar daddy, sugar daddy, say sugar daddy, sugar daddy, say puff puff pass my Mary Jane.
For the second time running, Kitty wins the Artist of the Year for 3 Music Awards 2022.
Shouts to every artist in this category. Shouts to you, Blacko. Love to you, my brother. Shouts to my team, shouts to the fans, Charlie, shouts to the DJ, shouts to my family, my mom, Mambi, I know you're watching. Thanks to you, Ghana. I appreciate you so much. More music coming. I love you guys so much, man.
So I love me. Oh, I love me. Oh, I love me.
From you both, still on this name change, right? Would you change your name if there's the need to change your name just to be able to break through in another industry?
Yes, so back in the early 60s.
Okay.
Yeah. So for example,
when you were 20.
Okay, so nickname-wise, I mean, for me, I went through a name change.
Okay.
Yeah, so people used to call me Johnny B. You know, when I was in Motown.
What was the Johnny B for?
Johnny B.
Then the B is?
B has always been better.
Okay.
Johnny Better.
It's Botos. Those of us who know this guy is Botos.
You know what it is.
I know. He doesn't want to say it on my show.
I know what it is. I know what it is. Johnny Boobs.
Listen.
Johnny Boobs. It's Johnny Boobs. Do you know why? Because Jay is big on boobs.
Me?
Yes.
I'm big on boobs.
He's big on boobs.
You've missed the
You know
brief.
why I'm saying
Sister,
you're big on
sister,
boobs?
look at my eye. Look at my eye. Well, trust me. It's Johnny Botox.
It's
Botox.
Guys, cut.
Wow.
Can we cut the show now?
No, we can't.
Cut. We'll go for commercial break.
We want to know what that
is. Look me.
Look me when I look you.
Yeah, we are going on a commercial break. When we come back, and I'm just kidding, but anyways, so it was Johnny B, and then Hammer changed it to Jay Foley.
Oh,
yes,
nice.
Says that,
I think Hammer did a good job there.
Yeah, no, but the Foley is my name.
Yeah, I know.
Asking, I'm John is maintained. Yeah.
Number Botos is not your name.
Then the J.
We know that was
Hey, Jay.
Unpacking is coming up next. 3, 2, 1, cut, switch over. Ladies coming up next. We are out here.
Now why are you doing like you? Today I have two people that I'm talking about, and it's very inspiring in both ways. My first story, I'm talking about Black Coffee. Now, Black Coffee has, spoken about how he's been able to get over and get past his accident several years back, and then risen to the top as, world famous DJ Black Coffee. We have a video to this.
I had to figure it out myself, and so doing an interview then, being asked this question, and at the worst time of my life then, and to give that answer, because the question was, where do you see yourself? And I said, they said in 2 years, and I said, in 5 years, just gave myself time. I said, in 5 years, I'm going to be one of the most important producers. I don't know if I said of the continent or the country, which actually I'm proud of that because it could have been worse. You know, I could have said, I want to be number one. I want to be the baddest motherfucker. I would have said something crazy, like Pampers. You know, my answer was still like very modest, but I was clear about what I wanted, you know. But after saying it, I freaked out because then I realized I need to own this. I need to own it, and I need to then start working towards it, you know. And yeah, and then 2 years later, which was the question, I released my album and I won my first award for Best Album, you know, which was low-key. Then I was the best producer in the genre, in the country, you know. But I think, I don't know, like, if it's the awards that drive me or just success itself. Because there's the narratives that, oh, he's probably, like, I get a Grammy, they're like, he wants something more. He wants more. He wants more. And I don't think I look at things like that. I think I just know that I can do more than an award. I can do more than an achievement. I can do more than, you know, I'm capable. That's it. That's what I'm fighting for. You know, and it's a little boy in me who was milking cows, who had no friends, who was like, I can, especially coming from where I come from. And that's it. It's never really about I'm the smartest one and I'm going to be the best one. I'm the most gifted one. It's just like I started with nothing. I'm from like nowhere, really. Like, so, and I had nothing to lose. You know, so I threw myself in and I just want to keep going.
Black Coffee has gone ahead to win BET and then also Grammy Awards, which to me is very inspiring because, come on, listen, you know that people go through this. I mean, we see people on the streets all the time, you know, trying to beg or begging actually to fend for themselves. And here is somebody who has turned that situation around to work for him. And I think this is what sort of pisses other people off when they see these things happen, because they're like, other people are doing it. So why do you think you have to take to the streets? Why is that the best option for you? But I also like one thing that he said, that I can. Right? That little boy, he had a vision and he has put his vision into reality regardless of the limitations, right? Now, he also went ahead to talk about, you know, the situation, the accident that led to his current situation.
The 10th of February, pivotal day in your life.
Yeah.
Tell me about that day.
We're at home on the 10th, which was like around 8 at night, and she was super strict. No one comes out the house that late. We were sitting in the house, I think after dinner, we hear like people singing outside. We all come out. Everyone, I mean, comes out to see what's happening, and it was people singing. There were a group of people about to pass our house. We ran to the crowd with my cousins. You know, we were not allowed to, but this was nice. So it wasn't a big thing even, I mean, for her. But my cousins went back. I didn't. Why? Music. So I followed the crowd. And the reason this was happening is because on the 11th of February, Nelson Mandela was officially coming out of jail after 27 years. So there was like jubilations around the entire country. This was happening in all the major cities where people were like, we're going to stay up all night until the morning. You know, they went on the streets, basically gathering more crowds. And we were now close to the stadium. And just out of nowhere, we just heard this sound. And it was a car. Just came out of nowhere, lights off, just rammed through the crowd. So I was not in the front, but I was maybe like 20% in. and I just blacked out. And people were screaming, and when I woke up, there was fire, people were angry. So basically this driver switched off the lights to literally just kill people with his car. I think what really happened to me, I don't think the car reached to me. I don't think the car touched me. I think the force of the people that were in front, because of the impact, they pushed so hard. So what happened is I dislocated my shoulder, but severely. I had no bruises, no cuts. It just came off, meaning my nerves that connect the arm to the body were snatched. And being in a small town, when I went to the hospital, no one knew what to do. So I'm there, I'm holding my arm like, they don't know if it's broken, they don't know what to do with it, So they just gave me a sling and pain tablets and I went back home.
Rather unfortunate how this happened, but I'm just excited that he's gone ahead, moved on from that to be the world's best DJ that we know now, DJ Black Coffee. That is amazing. All right, now you know that earlier in the show I was asking Jay and Cyril if they are going to go through a name change to be able to break through in a different industry. This is in reference to Dwayne Johnson, who is also known as The Rock. Now, he has shared that, he was advised some years back to drop the name The Rock and also stop talking about wrestling so that he'll be able to, venture into the acting space. Watch this.
Out to see what's happening and
they said, okay, great, but now here's what you have to do. You have to stop working out as much. You have to lose weight. You can't call yourself The Rock. You can't talk about wrestling. Let's stay away from all that.
These are all the things they told you. Don't be this anymore.
No, that's right. So I tried that, Tracy. I tried getting smaller, losing weight. It all felt wrong.
And once you started being yourself,
that was it. When that happened, a funny thing happened. Hollywood conformed around me. And years later, I'm sitting here with you.
Is running for president off the table now?
It's off the table, yes. It is off the table. I will say this, because it requires the B side to this. I love our country and everyone in it. I also love being a daddy. And that's the most important thing to me, is being a daddy. Number one, especially during this time, this critical time in my daughter's lives, because I know what it was like to be on the road and be so busy that I was absent for a lot of years. And my first daughter's growing up in these critical age, at this critical time in her life. And that's what the presidency will do. So my number one priority is my daughters. Sure, CEO sounds great, but the number one thing I want to be is daddy.
Talking about his daughters, Dwayne Johnson is such a girl dad. I mean, I see on Instagram how he's all loved up and lovey-dovey with his daughters and all of that, which is really, really nice. All right, now he mentioned, Hollywood conforming to him and building the craft around him. And that goes to say that you should be your most authentic self all the time in doing whatever that you are doing, or this is what I get from that. Just be your most authentic self. Don't pretend to be somebody else, and the world will conform rather than you conforming to, the world, right? Now, you can also get interactive with us on our socials. Have you ever been put in a situation where you don't have to do certain things, that will benefit you and by extension benefit people around you? Have you ever been in that situation where you don't have to be your quote-unquote most authentic self? Share with us. Find us on socials, 3 Music Networks, Twitter and Instagram, and 3 Music on Facebook, 3 Music Lifestyle on TikTok, and 3 Music Live on Snapchat, as well as Plus899 FM on Twitter and Instagram, and Plus899 on Facebook. This wraps up Unpacking for me for today. Gentlemen, Gentlemen.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, we were we're watching something which caught our attention. We're still drooling over the video from Wizkid and Chris Brown. We're trying to discuss it to see how best we can also make inputs and improve upon
everything Johnny Motor said.
With how you two are loving this video, is there the possibility that you'd sometime go into creative directing when it comes to video?
I love you every day. Definitely. Once we get the right models, we will direct.
Oh yeah,
and we'll
looking
direct
forward
back to back
to seeing one of your works.
Thank you.
Sometime in the future.
Thank you. Soon.
Yes. Well,
very soon.
Anyway, let me say good morning going out to some people who are doing the watching right about now. Hey, big shout out to you, Debbie, a.k.a. Spinkle, a.k.a. Reborn Memories. It's good to know you're locked on doing the watches. He says she's fixing her room and watching the show at the same time. We've got her locked down. Big shouts going out to you, Zuta.
She's not going to finish fixing the room anytime.
I know, it will take such a long time. When you are doing things, and then you are watching TV, you love what you are watching. You are going to be stuck. Exactly, and it will take such a long time to be done. But thanks for multitasking with us this morning.
Well, yes, good morning going out to you, Sammy King Love, a.k.a. King Sparrow. So we'll see you. To you, Humphrey, all of you send us shout-outs via our tweets as well. Well, thank you very much. Lenny, so we're back again with Lenny again tomorrow. She gives us more on unpacking, but she's back for Trending Live. But anyway, like Cyril said, he's got some sports stories for us, but it's not going to be heartbreaking like before, right?
It'll be heartbreaking to a point. For some,
yes.
For some, but it's not financial, so we can keep our watching money in peace.
Well, the next time you come back into this live, come back as a sportsman. You just might see it differently. Coming up next, Sports Direct.
Standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clamanya. Make some noise. They loved them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty, and everyone else.
He said 6, that's a lot of it.
Where have you been though? Where have you been? You?
I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugarcane sweet, but everybody sweeter. Hey. Someone on me sweet, nigga, ginger. Hey. Okay, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you know what's up, the name is my food and hustler. If you follow what that's the quality, back again for me coming, I swear my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know. Remember you know what's up, the name is my food and hustler. If you follow what that's the quality, back again for me coming, I swear my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know.
This is my first award for Ghana here. I dedicate to every kid with a dream, bro. I be like you. You go to be like me, bro. Your dream is still valid, man. I dare with you. Love to you guys so much. Love you.
you do for me.
I'm so grateful. God bless you.
Keep making the gospel proud. The gospel has so much for Ghana. Thank you.
Congrats to everyone who's been up on the stage and everyone who's been nominated.
Who is going to win the Artist of the Year?
Your baby.
You're welcome back to Culture Daily. It's your boy C-Real, and I'm bringing you Sports Direct once again. Now, going straight into England for the England FA's decision to hire a lip reader for the altercation that happens just this Sunday between Jordan Henderson and Gabriel Jesus. Now, Arsenal, there was an altercation this Sunday on the Arsenal match between Jordan Henderson and Gabriel Jesus, and that was an altercation based on the foul that was called to the leading goal, which was a penalty. Now, the altercation seemed to show the two players sharing some words that didn't seem to be so kind and positive. Now, even though they were not formally questioned as to what they said, FA has decided that it would be better to get a lip reader, a professional lip reader, to decipher what they said so that they can find out if indeed the altercation was something more than just aggression on the pitch and had any racist or any other violent tones to it so that disciplinary action could be taken. Now, you know that there's a lot going on in the FA right now, and this is the last thing we need with more infighting and more racist comments and more violence-driven content. So the lip reading is going to be something that's going to be provided as a forensic audit to make sure that the actions that will be taken to punish either one of the players will be accurate. Now, the players went further to even have an altercation with the referee, and that is totally unacceptable as per the FIFA guidelines. So we're looking forward to what the conclusion will be from the lip reader to be able to tell us what was said even though we didn't hear it. And that's all for my first story. Now, my second story is one that I'm really excited about because it's benches off an argument that we have every blessed day. Whether it's at the sports bar, whether it's in the studio, whether it's at the barber shop, we always want to know who the world's best players are by ranking of their statistics, their performance, and in-depth analysis. Well, on Sports Direct today, we're bringing you that list. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from number 10. We're going to throw the images and the profiles on, and then we're going to start and tell you everything about them. Now, 10th, we're ranking it down. We start from Ronaldo, the classic Ronaldo, Brazilian striker. Brazilian Ronaldo is one of the most lethal, devastating strikers to ever play the game. 352 goals and 518 club appearances for the likes of Barcelona, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, and AC Milan. He's also netted a breathtaking 62 times in 98 games for his country, 15 of which came at the World Cup. Now, if you know this brand, if you know Ronaldo, then you know that these stats are nothing short of amazing. Now, moving on from Ronaldo, we go to Puskas. Now, Puskas is one of the players that has set so much of a trend that goals and styles have been named after him. Hungary's best ever player, Ferenc Puskas, was so good, he subsequently had FIFA's Best Goal of the Year award named after him. The legendary attacking midfielder scored 242 goals in 262 games. Look at that conversion rate. He also bagged quite ludicrous 84 goals out of 85 games, missing only one goal in a match for the Hungarian national team. This includes twice winning the famous 6-3 win over England in 1953. So when the next time you hear a goal being referred to as a Puskas-style goal, you know this is the genius that birthed it all. Moving on from Puskas, we go to Beckenbauer. Now, Franz Beckenbauer is a German icon. Beckenbauer revolutionized the role of a defender in the 70s. His ability to carry the ball out from the back changed the very way people looked at the game. He lifted the European Championships with West Germany in 72, followed by the World Cup in 74. And he also won 4 Bundesliga titles in 5 years, 4 titles in 5 years for Bayern Munich. Now, Beckenbauer is definitely somebody to watch out for when you're talking about who the greatest are in European football and in German football. But that's not where the list ends. We stay moving on to George Best. Now, if you follow English football, you know that George Best is a name that has stayed of the tongues of football fans all across. Now, admired by many of the most talented players to have been produced in England, George Best scored 179 goals in 470 games and appearances for my team, Manchester United, winning 2 league titles on the 2 occasions and a European Cup in 1968. Now, moving on from there, we're going back into the eastern side, of Europe for Johan Cruyff. Now, Johan Cruyff was such a legend and such a pace setter in football that we actually have the Johan Cruyff Institute named after him as an institute of soccer excellence, where people learn everything from on-pitch training to coaching to marketing to football business. Now, Johan Cruyff won 8 league titles for Ajax and helped them claim 3 European Cups in a row from 1971 to 73. He also won a league title with Barcelona, narrowly missing out on to claim Netherlands' first World Cup in 74 as West Germany beat them in the final. So the next time you hear about the Johan Cruyff Institute, this is the football genius after who it is named. Now we move on again to the man with the bald head who went from player to fighter to amazing coach, my one and only Zinedine Zidane. Now, if you knew the man, the ZZ, the double Z, if you know Zidane, then I don't have to say much. Zidane carved out his reach and his legacy for Juventus, Real Madrid, and as a French national player. He's been in the World Cup. We'll remember his genius in the 2001 Champions League final volley, that amazing volley. And then we also remember the unfortunate incident where he headbutted a fellow player to the ground. Now, like football, these things happen, and Zidane had his moment. Now, a name that we have 2 of them, but one of them has set the world standard ablaze. And I'm talking about Pelé, the world Pelé. Now, Pelé comes all the way from Brazil, and Brazil has been known after time and time again for groundbreaking players. They own football if it comes to skill, precision, and style. Listen, watching Brazilians play is like watching a work of art. Still to this day, Pelé stands alone as the only player to win the World Cup on 3 occasions in 58, 62, and 1970. He spent almost his entire 18-year club career at Brazilian side Santos, where he racked up a stunning 643 goals in 659 appearances. The man almost never missed. But his 77 goals in 92 appearances for Brazil is perhaps his most impressive statistics, with his international career unparalleled. Listen, when they say Pelé, we know what it means. There are even jokes where people say that Pelé missed a shot and he claimed that the bar was crooked by an inch. And when they measured, it was true. These are all jokes and things we argue about, but it's just a testament to the accuracy of Pelé. Now, moving on from Pelé, we're going to another man who came out as a youngster for Manchester United and began a legacy from scratch. I'm talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo has scored 700 goals as club goals, which is amazing. On just Sunday night, I'm sorry I'm laughing, just Sunday night, Manchester United star Cristiano Ronaldo netted his 700th goal. Now look at that. The Portuguese superstar has won 5 Champions Leagues, 7 domestic league titles, and 5 Ballon d'Ors. Now, for those of you who don't know, a Ballon d'Or is like the Grammy of footballs. You don't get better than Ballon d'Or. And this man has picked it up 5 times. He's also triumphed with his country at the Euro 2016, and he holds the record for most international goals scored with 117 in 191 appearances. Talk about conversion. Now, this is Ciro. He might be having a tough time with Manchester United, but the man is a legend in his own right. Moving on from Cristiano Ronaldo, we go all the way back to South America, straight to Argentina, for the name you know I'm about to mention, Diego Maradona, the legend himself. Now, Diego Maradona has had his fair share of beautiful football, wonderful awards, and his statistics are out of this world. Maradona sits second in the list, and yet he isn't even considered the greatest Argentinian player of all time. The South American wizard won a 1986 World Cup almost single-handedly, with some of the most remarkable displays you will ever see. If you've ever looked up that video, you will see how he literally carried the Argentinian team. When they say Diego Maradona won the World Cup, they literally mean it, because his play on that day, in that tournament, was exceptional. The team was there but he was in top form. Now, he's also claimed 2 Serie A titles with Napoli in 87 and 1990, scoring 115 goals in 259 games for the Italian club. He goes down as their greatest ever player. Now, that's Diego Maradona coming in at number 2. Now, take a wild guess. I've mentioned a lot of names. I've mentioned a lot of world stars. Who have I not mentioned? Who do you think is at number 1? Ladies and gentlemen, Sports Direct, none other by the man himself, the man who's just a little shorter than I am, Lionel Messi. Talk about a king. Talk about a football star. Talk about an icon, somebody who might never be replicated in our lifetime. Well, this is the man of the moment. It's no surprise to see Barcelona and Argentinian legend Lionel Messi on top of this list. He's bagged a ridiculous 691 club goals in 834 appearances, winning 10 La Liga titles, League One, and 4 Champions Leagues, as well as a host of other accolades. Messi also has a record-breaking 7 Ballon d'Ors. Remember, Zero has 5. Well, this is the man who has upped Zero by 2 whole awards. And he's also lifted the Copa del Rey with Argentina last year. Now, I'm going to run through the list numerically so that you have an idea of the status of Lionel Messi when it comes to legendary status. We start with 10 at Classic Ronaldo, 9 at Puskas, 8 at Beckenbauer, 7 George Best, 6 Johan Cruyff, 5 Zinedine Zidane, 4 Pele, 3 Cristiano Ronaldo, 2 Diego Maradona, and number 1 on top of the mountain is the man himself, Lionel Messi. Now tell me what you think about this. Make sure you connect to us on social media. I would love to see your own ranking. I'd like to hear your comments and your stories about the first time you saw these football stars perform their magic. That being said, I don't know who Lenny and Jay's number 1 is, but Lionel Messi takes the trophy for me. The name is Serial. I'm going to throw it back into the studio for my colleagues, the Culture Squad, to tell me what they think about this list and if indeed Lionel Messi is number 1 when it comes to legendary status on football. Jay, do you think Ronaldo should be down there?
Well, Serial, I don't know how to go about this, but I think you just nailed the spot on with the top 10 list. You know, it was just an amazing one. And I do agree with you that, you know, Lionel Messi, any day, all day, I mean, you can't go wrong.
What about Maradona? Maradona has some of the most iconic plays. Pele used to take the ball from defense and ridicule everybody, including the keeper. I mean, some of the footage, when you watch it, you don't believe how magical this thing used to be. And for Lionel Messi to be able to replicate and go beyond that, I mean, it's mind-blowing. When are we going to see another Lionel Messi? That's the question I keep asking.
So what happens to Cyril now? What happens to Cyril now?
Well, he still has a few matches ahead of him.
Okay.
Like I said yesterday, rumor is he might be moving to America to play in the MLS. Maybe he's able to rack up some stats there that put him at par with Lionel Messi. Like I said, Messi has 7 Ballon d'Ors and Cyril has 5. So I don't know if in the next year or 2 before he retires. Everybody's speculating that he's old, he's not on form again, he should pack it up. I don't know when he's going to take that advice, but before he does that, maybe he might one-up Lionel Messi. But we stay to look at that, and you know we'll definitely bring you all those updates, all those stats and that information on Sports Direct. Guys, I'm wrapping up here, throwing it back to you in the studio. Let's move on with Culture Daily.
Goal! Well, yes. It's definitely a goal right here.
Do you watch football?
Do I do what?
You watch football a lot?
Yeah, I mean, only when the international teams are playing, but not when they are playing the leagues in the local country. So I'm not too, you know, relevant. I don't fall in that space, you know. I like big games. I do big things.
Hey. Okay, you like big games. You do big things. Okay.
All right, so anyway, we just had a great time there. So far, so good. Time check, 8:05, and time for us to switch over to our Trending Live. Then we can go into our main studio to kick off our conversations about women gatekeepers. Well, when we talk gatekeepers in our industry, in the showbiz, it seems like you just might think that in this male-dominated space, you don't have women playing key active roles in there. Well, it will surprise you that the big decision makers are actually women when it comes to entertainment in Ghana. Well, anyways, we'll talk about that later on in our Studio 899 when we switch over, but we're still live on Plus 89.9 FM, as well as live on 3 Music TV right here. Anyway, coming up next, let's go to our Trending Live with Lenny.
Standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clowmania. Make some noise. They love them. They love them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty, and everyone else.
And he said 6. That's a lot of it.
Where have you been, though? Where have you been? You?
I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugarcane sweet, but everybody sweeter.
Hey, hey, hey. So follow me, sweet. You're welcome back. Now this is Trending Live. On Wednesdays we look at Instagram and what's trending. Today we are looking at this. Now this is making me smile because we saw, a progression from they in the studio, they together, and now this is a video of Burna Boy and DJ Khaled having, food settings, and they are about to eat. Now, if you don't know the day I was referring to, like I mentioned, is DJ Khaled and Burna Boy. Now these comments make me smile. So official Smart Day said, first African artist to visit Khaled. Not gonna lie, Burna Boy. Fernando says, yes vibes, I know that record is gonna be lit. Hit Drake and Burna Boy on one record and it's out of here. Okay, proper etiquette to pass the food to the guests first, which is from what we are seeing from this video. Now, like I mentioned, we've seen a lot of posts from DJ Khaled, and it's how it excites me for me. You know that earlier on in the show we mentioned how it seems that these American artists are the ones rather moving to the Nigerian artists, and you can see it from here how excited Burna is with all of his posts. Now, one of his posts, he posted Burna Boy in the studio, and then he said, Burna did. Is that to say Burna is going to be on the God Day song? Well, we don't know. We just also have to wait for it until it actually happens. Now, another post that DJ Khaled made said, studio is on fire. And then again, Burna did. He mentions Burna Boy and then himself and We The Best Music and says, I'm inspired. I'll explain later. Then we go ahead to see, this very beautiful setting of theirs. And you can typically tell how excited DJ Khaled is. So what you're watching now is both of them in the studio. This is muted. They didn't even give us, let us into just snippets of whatever the song is. But when it does come, trust me, these are global artists, and I know that it is going to be a hit. Now, talking about something that is a hit, right? Let's talk about weddings. Weddings are a big deal, especially in today's day and time. Now, LeBron James has come out to say how, people crashed his wedding that he did not even know at all. And I'm like, why should that even happen? How do you just up and attend someone's wedding? You don't know them, they don't know you. Nothing. You just attend just for the sake of it. There's an insert to this. There's a video to this. Let's listen to what LeBron James has to say.
We had 2 wedding crashers.
Oh, that's right.
Wait, that wasn't even invited at all. That no one knew.
Oh, shit.
That no one knew.
No one knew. The movie.
No one knew, and this is how they got
in pictures.
This is sniff them out though. This is how they got sniffed out. Had a celebrity friend walk by, and they called him their real name that none of us call them. I don't want to say the name, but they called say for instance, you walk by and they be like, "What's up, Paul?" You like, "What the fuck's Paul?" And so you come to me, you like, "Hey, Brian, hey, you know these niggas?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Why? What's wrong?" He like, "These niggas just call me Paul." Now, everybody in the family know I'm PR. Ain't nobody, everybody gonna call me Paul. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's how I got sniffed out. So my security go over to him and say, "Hey, who y'all with?" They like, "Oh, we with him." And when they said him turned around at the same time was like, hell no, the motherfuckers ain't with me. And they got put out. Swear to God, they motherfuckers walked out with a plate and everything.
Yeah, that's hard.
Now, how does this even happen? I understand that we have party crashes and all of that, but it's so embarrassing to just be in this situation where you're sniffed out as the uninvited guest that nobody even knows. If somebody knows you, that's a different thing, right? Okay, now talking about acknowledging people, I'm going to be talking about this very special award. It's actually a national award that Tenny received. She was awarded the Member of the Order of Niger Award by the President of Nigeria. Now, Tenny is not the only one that was awarded this. Okay, so if you do not know, this is National Honors Awards, and this is awarded to people who have served the nation, who have contributed to the nation. So in this video, you see is Tenny receiving her award. So I'm breaking it down for you because it has different categories, okay? We have the Member of the Order of the Federal Republic Award, which 74 people received, including Burna Boy. And then we have the Member of the Order of Niger Award, which was given to Tubaba and Tenny among a long list of others. We also have the highest honor, which is the Grand Commander of the Order of Niger Award, and this went to Amina J. Mohammed, Tanko Mohammed, Tijani Mohammed Bande, Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan, and a lot others. And then also Anthony Joshua received the Officer of the Order of the Federal Republic Award. And so congratulations to Tenny and to Burna Boy, to Tubaba, and all the rest who received this award in acknowledging their service and their contribution in the various spaces that they find themselves working in the country, for the country, and even outside the country, okay? So I'm just going to read this comment that comes from Boy Vix, who I don't know how he was able to identify this, but he says she's not happy with the president. Normally, them supposed shake hand after she collect the award, but auntie just pass JJ they go. Now only God know what thing she they talk for in mind. Okay, and then Sam says Tenny use body language, tell him say you know do well. All right, and then this last comment from Zaza says, great message from the youth to Boo, but normally Baba no still saying cause he's been a bad guy. Okay, so now these are, just mixed reactions to how Tenny went about collecting this award, and that is the focus with these comments, and that's what they are talking about, rather than focusing on the positives that she received an award. In today's day and time, I think that is so common. When good things happen, people will just try to find the negative in there, even if it's not necessary, they just blow it up. But yes, this has been trending live, talking about Burna Boy, DJ Khaled, as well as LeBron James, and then to Tenny and Burna Boy again, who have won some awards in Nigeria. This wraps it up for me on Trending Live for today. We are going to continue with the show and, of course, with a big conversation right here and on Plus 899 FM as well. Jay, Cyril?
Well, thank you very much.
There?
Yes,
okay,
we're live here. Thank you so much. Since it's a Wednesday and it's your day, we celebrate you as well, and everything that you do. You've been phenomenal in your journey, in your entertainment journey.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to having you become, CEO of the Future 3 Music Global. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
global. I like the global.
To the world.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, so let me say good morning to David Cote Blanks, and I see you as well. He says that I think we do. Now, when we're talking about putting pressure on musicians, do we put unnecessary pressure on Ghanaian musicians? Well, David is saying, I think we do. Sometimes I feel they can do better by producing quality and authentic sound. That is being led, that is by being authentic and original, he says. Now, they also need to get their plugs and connection right. Well, okay, all right. More coming here. More messages here.
Lots of opinions.
Opinions in here from Eminent GH. He says, I don't think so entirely. He says it is a competitive environment, he says, now created among artists at a given era in order to be relevant in terms of producing hit songs, albums. Fans have little power on demand to artists, but play a major role after the work is out. Yeah, so when you finish and you throw it to us, it's now time for us to decide.
To decide whether you did the job well or you didn't do the job well.
Yes. Hey, shouts going out to you, Trigmatic, as well. And it's real, you just...
Terrorist.
Well, another one here too says that from Manche, a.k.a. Jeff, shouts to you. Well, he says, I feel the consumers should speak their mind all day long. Shouldn't necessarily translate as pressure. I suspect the artists and their management will know when they need to do more and when they need to do little. I like that. He says, that said, there's more pressure because of, and leaves it there. Well, because of,
we know.
Competition, competition. Anyway, so we're going into our studio. Cyril, so the list of some of the, the prominent entertainers, women who have been in our industry, the likes of CEO of Charterhouse now, Theresa Ayoade,
Liza from Boomplay.
Yes, and all these. It's quite surprising that we probably didn't realize that women were controlling the game.
Yeah. And the thing is, we interact with them, but we never took stock of it to list them out. But when you do that, then the picture becomes much, much bigger. And it's really good to know that we've been, progressive enough to not be a typical industry where it's male-dominated and it's just men. But women have not only been let into the industry to perform in all functions, but they've also had the fertile landscape to rise and grow to highest management. Yeah. So it's not just having women on TV. Like Lenny's a hostess. She's an editor. You understand? She's a social media influencer, and all that is within the same industry.
Yeah,
and that's a big thing for her to be able to go across each landscape. We have Anita in the background. Shout out to Anita as well, giving us dope content to keep the show entertaining.
Talking into our ears lots.
There's women in the engine room, there's women on camera, and there's women at the top. So. Big shout out to our ladies.
Yeah,
Charlie.
Talking about engine room, we are still waiting for the women to be able to change their the car tires, the spare tire, and then you've done it. And also, shouts going out to you, Andis the barber, recently talking to me about trying to encourage women to get into the profession of barbering, and he says he feels that sometimes the few women out there who are into barbering, men don't trust their handiwork. Yeah. So he wants to change that narrative by starting a campaign where he tries to encourage more young girls, to get into the profession of barbering. And so shouts going out to you, Andis the barber. Anyway, on the back of that, now time for us to jump into our Studio 899. There's a conversation with the women, but the question is, are they really controlling the game? When we come back, we start.
Standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clamanya. Make some noise. They love them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty, and everyone else.
And he said 6, that's a lot of it.
Where have you been though? Where have you been? You?
I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugarcane sweet, but body sweeter.
Hey. So follow me, sweet little ginger. Hey, girl, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you know a traveler. Name is like who the hustler. Far away, just Kuala. Back again for me coming. I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me. I know. Remember you know a traveler. Name is like who the hustler. Far away, just Kuala. Back again for me coming. I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me. I know.
This is my first award for Ghana here. I dedicate to every kid with a dream, bro. I be like you. You go to be like me, bro. Your dream is still valid, man. I'm there with you. Love to you guys so much. Love you.
I'm so grateful. God bless you.
Keep making the gospel proud. The gospel has so much for Ghana. Thank you.
Congrats to everyone who's been up on the stage and everyone who's been nominated.
Who is going to win the Artist of the Year?
Your baby. Everybody say I demand, but I don't mind. I'm gonna dance for you, my baby. Shake for you, my baby. Wine for you, my baby. Hey, me and you all the time. Dance for you, my baby.
I think it seems like a celebration, but this is a motivation for me to come back stronger. Younger kid.
With you, but you know they get enough time for me. I wanna live with you. I get it easy why I can't let. See, but you never know to you. Hey man, them so fat. Oh, can you never know to you? Listen man, them so fat to find your love.
This award goes to my team. I appreciate you guys so much. It's imperative to me that I give and dedicate this award to my team. Shouts to you, man. Love.
May I live on the mountain waiting for so long. Do you know how to do the dance? Let's go. My head. I know feet. I believe I play defense.
This one be for my mommy. Be for my puppy. This be for everyone. This be for Konogu Zongo. I love you guys so much. One time.
Everybody say yo. Say yo. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say puff puff pass my Mary Jane.
For the second time running, Kiddy wins the Artist of the Year for 3 Music Awards 2022.
Shouts to every artist in this category. Shouts to you, Blacko. Love to you, my brother. Shouts to my team. Shouts to the fans. Charlie. Shouts to the DJ. Shouts to my family, my mom, Mambi. I know you're watching. Thanks to you, Ghana. I appreciate you so much. More music coming. I love you guys so much, man.
So allow me. Oh, allow me. Oh, allow me. This problem not a big
Standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clamanya. Make some noise. They loved them. They loved them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Them.
are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty, and everyone else.
He said 6. That's a lot of it.
Where have you been, though? Where have you been? You?
I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugarcane sweet, but everybody sweeter.
Hey, hey, hey. Someone on me, sweet nigga, ginger. Hey, okay, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you never travel out. Didn't respect who the hustler. If you follow away, just a quality. Back again for me coming. I swear on my life. I can't wait to get back. I know you miss me. I know. Remember you never travel out. Didn't respect who the hustler. Follow away, just a quality. Back again for me coming. I swear on my life. I can't wait to get back. I know you miss me. I know.
This is my first award for Ghana here. I dedicate to every kid with a dream, bro. I be like you. You go to be like me, bro. Your dream is still valid, man. I'm there with you. Love to you guys so much. I love you.
I'm so grateful. God bless you.
Keep making the gospel proud. The gospel has so much for Ghana. Thank you.
Congrats to everyone who's been up on the stage and everyone who's been nominated.
Who is going to win the Artist of the Year?
Your baby, your baby. Everybody say I demand, but I don't mind. I'm gonna dance for you, my baby. Shake for you, my baby. Wine for you, my baby. Hey, me and you all the time. Dance for you, my baby.
I think it seems like a celebration, but this is a motivation for me to come back stronger. Younger KA.
With you, but you know they get enough time for me. I wanna live with you. I get it easy, why I can't let. See, can you never know to you? Hey, man, them so fat. Oh, can you never know to you? It's a man, them so fat to find your love.
This award goes to my team. I appreciate you guys so much. It's imperative to me that I give and dedicate this award to my team. Shouts to you, man. Love.
May I live on the mountain waiting for so long. Do you know how to do the dance? Let's go. My head. I know feet. I believe I play defense.
This one be for my mommy. Be for my puppy. This be for everyone. This be for Konogu Zongo. I love you guys so much. One time.
Everybody say yo. Say yo. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say puff, puff, pass. My Mary Jane.
For the second time running, Kitty wins the Artist of the Year. But 3 Music Awards 2022.
Shouts to every artist in this category. Shouts to you, Blacko. Love to you, my brother. Shouts to my team. Shouts to the fans. Charlie. Shouts to the DJ. Shouts to my family, my mom, Mambi. I know you're watching. Thanks to you, Ghana. I appreciate you so much. More music coming. I love you guys so much, man.
So I love you. Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. It's problem not the picture.
standing in between music royalty right now. The sugar daddy and the clamanya. Make some noise. They laughed out. They laughed out.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty, and everyone else.
He said 6, that's a lot of it.
Where have you been though? Where have you been? You?
I have been around the world, but tonight it is all about these amazing, talented musicians.
Sugar cane sweet, but body sweeter.
Hey, hey, hey. So follow me, sweet little ginger. Hey, okay, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time for me.
I know that all the artists have discharged themselves creditably great under the year in review. So thank you so much for recognizing, appreciating, and making sure that our artists, at the end of the day, be applauded and rewarded.
Remember you know a traveler, the respect for the hustler. Far away, just a qualala. Back again for me coming, I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know. Remember you know a traveler, the respect for the hustler. Far away, just a qualala. Back again for me coming, I swear on my life. I can't wait to be back. I know you miss me, I know.
This is my first award for Ghana here. I dedicate to every kid with a dream, bro. I be like you. You go to be like me, bro. Your dream is still valid, man. I bet with you. Love to you guys so much. I love you.
I'm so grateful. God bless you.
Keep making the gospel proud. The gospel has so much for Ghana. Thank you.
Congrats to everyone who's been up on the stage and everyone who's been nominated.
Who is going to win the Artist of the Year?
Your baby, your baby. Everybody say I demand, but I don't mind. I'm gonna dance for you, my baby. Shake for you, my baby. Wine for you, my baby. Hey, yeah, you all the time. Dance for you, my baby.
I think it seems like a celebration, but this is a motivation for me to come back stronger. Younger K.
With you, but you know they get enough time for me. I wanna live with you. I get it easy, why I can't let. See, can you never lose to you? Hey, man, them so fat. Oh, can you never lose to you? It's a man, them so fat. Find your love.
This award goes to my team. I appreciate you guys so much. It's imperative to me that I give and dedicate this award to my team. Shouts to you, man. Love.
May I live on the mountain waiting for so long. Do you know how to do the dance? Let's go. My head. I know feet. I believe I play the best.
This one be for my mommy. It be for my puppy. This be for everyone. This be for Konogu Songo. I love you guys so much. One time.
Everybody say yo. Say yo. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Say sugar daddy, sugar daddy.
You can Globe this morning. It's Women Crush Wednesday, part 2 of our conversation this morning, and we just played songs from Adina, Serial's favorite, Jackie as well, and currently just watched that video from Tiwa Savage. Is it Koroba? I think I had that name, Koroba. And you should have seen her performance at the Global Season. In fact, both of them, both Jackie and Tiwa. And when Tiwa stepped on stage as well, barefoot, I think the girls just went crazy because they could just relate to, hey, let's take the heels off, let's get the weaves off, and let's just rock it. But anyway, that's their language, not our male language. But we still appreciate our women across the world making this happen. But anyway, this morning, like we did in the studio, or we mentioned earlier on, we will be focusing hard on the women gatekeepers. Now, it will surprise you that, you know, a lot of the very big influential positions in the entertainment industry has been held very strong by women, and they have been the deciders of lots of the things that you consume, from talent management to advertising agency management to, you just name them. But I'll give you a short list of some of these women who have done this remarkable job over the years. But this morning we are very honored to have some of them join us live in the studio this morning. And let me start off with one lady who's worked very hard to climb the ropes to be here with us this morning. Her name is Lenny Lomote, and she's here with us. Yeah, surprise. Now, we need to celebrate you as well. You know, humble beginnings to where you are now. I mean, it's good recognition, so we need to talk about it. You know, I'm sure it hasn't been a very smooth, easy journey. But you are here today, and that's what's important.
And I mean, Jay has seen the growth
of
firsthand. So
yes,
from national service and everything to here. So
you make me look like I'm turning
Jay is really old.
We are planning. But anyways, also joining us here this morning, we are very honored to have our very own CEO of three music networks joining us here this morning as well. Rashida Abdullah, and she's here. Thank you very much for coming to join the show. I know you have a story to tell us today, and a lot of other projects you've been engaged in. I'm also being told that a little bit just whispered to me that we are doing a belated birthday to someone. Drum roll to the CEO of Backstage Access, Soraya Opara. She's here with us this morning.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes.
Happy birthday, happy birthday,
happy birthday to you.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, wow. Wow. Listen, we didn't even realize that we had to stop, think, pause for a second and realize that women are actually the ones who are signing the checks, taking the decisions, you know. And I mean, it just didn't even occur to us for a split second that, guess what? For Usher to have had that level of comfort at the backstage, it meant a woman had to take that decision.
To deliver.
Yeah.
Yes. You can imagine, you know, like it didn't even occur to us that, wait, hold on. For us to get that entertainment that we enjoy at, you know, grand arenas and all the Malaikas and all those, it had to take a woman's input. You know, CEO of Chatterhouse, Yola Ayoade, recognition going out to you this morning. So wherever you are as well, of course, sorry, Theresa, not Yola, I beg you, Yola is the husband. Theresa Ayoade is, thank you so much for everything you've done, you know, all your contribution to the industry as it is. And there's more. It will surprise you. So to Beniwa Boating, she's from Spotify Ghana. We also have the country manager of Boomplay, Liza Intiama. She'll join us later on, maybe via Zoom, or she'll come into the studio as well. She's just a stone throw from here, so we are fishing her into the studio, you know. And also, we've mentioned, and yes, entertainment lawyer Cynthia Kwaku as well, who's also been very forceful, very strong,
Very vocal,
you know, and the name of her agency is something One Media.
African One Media.
Africa One Media, yes, Africa One Media, and this one, I mean, we are very honored to have you join us live in the studio. So we are celebrating the women today, and also we will celebrate, but we will also critique.
Yes. Yes, it's necessary. Yeah.
But Lenny, today we are interviewing you.
Really?
You're not hosting. You are a guest as well.
You're not part of the show.
Really?
yes.
No,
But
please, let's just
let me
interview our
no,
guests.
for real,
Uh-huh.
we will do that. You know, we will hear titles, positions, high experience, but let's just start off with your journey, okay, in appreciating, because there are also many young girls out there who are watching you and just wish that they are in your position, in your place, you know. So let's appreciate your journey. Where did it start from with learning?
It's
You're on the hot seat.
See how they just threw me out there. You guys just threw me to the wolves. But okay, so it officially, I'm saying officially because it started before national service. But after school, I mean, I've always known that I want to be in media and do media and all of that. And thankfully, my mommy has also fed that ambition of mine. So especially with all the courses I wanted to do back in school and everything, it's just been, okay, that's what you want to do, you can do it. Because growing up, I had the likes of Kwamina Dumo as my, mentors. I always say, I want to wear glasses like Kwamina Dumo, right? And then even at a point, I started wearing glasses like Kwamina Dumo. They make me read so many books. My mom will make you read so many books, so it's just been in line. But it officially started during national service. So I did my national service at Live FM, right? So I was a producer, and then I had a segment on the mid-morning show as well. So we did that I did that for about a year and 2 or 3 months, and then I moved to Oceans TV. I did my own show on there for about almost 2 years on Oceans TV. So I was running as a producer and a presenter because I was producing my own show on Oceans. So from Oceans, I also did the Yellow Hangout. I hosted that. I hosted on 3 Music for 2 episodes until they kicked us out of wherever we were. And then I started my own TV show. So that is the Entertainment Arena. So for the Entertainment Arena, we run until I think 2020 when COVID hit, because then nobody wanted to come out and do the show. I also had a radio show on E-News, all of those things. So it's just come together. And then also with producing for other people's shows, entertainment consulting for shows and TV shows, what you want to do, media personalities and all of that. So I think that it's just been a journey, a long and patient journey to this point, if I should say. And being here now, I'm just filled with gratitude, and I think that it also has to do with the work you put in. Right. So last year I also did Dominion TV as a presenter, and then we are here today. So I've had a few good runs, really good runs, and with everything that I do, I just try to put in my all. Right, and then that's how it's gone for me, because it's just been recommendation for me, and that just goes to say that whatever you're doing, if you do it well, people are watching. Regardless, if you don't even think people are watching, people are actually watching, and it takes one person to recommend. And then also keeping good relationships. It's really important, having to communicate really well with people, be in good standing with people, because trust me, God is not going to come down to put things in place for you. It's always going to happen through people. So today here at The Music as head of editorial, and then also working as a presenter, OAP, and production as well. And I think it's just in order. It's just all the things that I've wanted to do growing up. Okay. Right. This is nothing like I'm in the wrong space.
No,
or
you're
anything.
not in the wrong.
So yeah.
Wow, awesome. Like, that's beautiful. I mean, it's good to hear this journey. And even before, I'd love to ask your journey. When you hear stories like this for young girls, who are vicious with their dreams, regardless the challenges that may come, and all the kind of stories that we hear about that, how do you feel about that? Before we talk about your stories.
I think it's always great to hear stuff like this, because for about 5-6 years now, I've been going to certain campuses like GIJ and Legon, and I've been having private conversations with groups of girls, and what we tend to hear is there is no options for them. It's sort of like the parents decide on what they want to do, and then they get into a course, and if they decide to try something new, they're seen as rebellious. So it's interesting, because it's good to hear that your mom was sort of like, okay, if you want to do this, then let's make sure you do this, make sure you do that. And that's great because then you foster people who don't feel two sets of people in this industry where you have people who feel like they failed at everything, so they are here by accident. And then, or some people who feel like they had to run to be here, so they sort of do everything and anything to succeed because they want to make sure they don't go back home as a failure. So it's good to hear that. For me, it makes me happy when I see parents who are like, pushing the kids. It's great news.
To hear, even before I'll see you to speak and pick your opinion as well. On the back of that, how did it work out for you? What is your story?
My story is pretty long. I mean, so I grew up.
Then you have 2 minutes.
Okay, I grew up in the UK where I actually always knew that I wanted to be in the music space. So
music?
I always wanted to be in the music space. So
as rap, sing?
No. Like, so it's a really funny story. So actually, when you get to like class 10, you're sort of given the opportunity to go and work 2 weeks somewhere.
Please. When you say class 10?
No, you're year 10, which is...
Year 10, so... from
SS1 for us.
SS1. No, the last GHS.
GHS 3,
yes.
Because we know we are the ones that are coming from back in the day.
So in year 10, you get to decide just before you do your final exams, like 2 weeks somewhere. And I wrote sound engineer, right? And I made a mistake. I think the machine picked it up and did sound, engineer. So I was given the option to work in a CD factory, like a factory that actually printed CDs for Virgin Records, and then Volvo.
Okay.
Their fitting shop. And I was too late in getting... So a sound stroke engineer. So I was okay, let me quickly go and call up for the CD factory. When I called, as you can imagine, everybody was working for Virgin Records, right? Because everybody would get free CDs. It was full. So I had to go to Volvo. So I worked for Volvo for 2 weeks, right? And so for me, I was like, I got that thing in my mind where it's like, no matter what you do, like always learn new things. So I can change your brake pads. But I can change your brake, if it's a Volvo, I can change your brake pads. But then, so after school, so because of that, I was like, okay, I need to figure out a way. So during the summertime, there was this company called Music for You. It was a music festival, and they come packed in trucks. So like all the sound equipment in one truck, all the stage equipment in one truck. And they always wanted like teenagers to just run around, grab this, grab that. And that's what I did every summer. So every time Music for You would come, if it was 2 weeks, 3 days, whatever music concert that they were doing, I would do that. So I'd run around and, we need this battery. We need this speaker. And I'll literally just run around. And that's what we did. So it got to a point where Music for You were like, okay, we are looking for full-time staff to work during the summers. So then I started doing that. So I would do whatever job I could during the day, and then like usually the cinema, because they give you flexibility. Then for the 2 weeks that Music for You is in town, I would do that. So I got to meet a lot of artists, do a lot of shows, and that sort of piqued my interest. I went to school, and life takes you in a strange direction. So I went to school, and then I started doing more, serious. You have immigrant parents who are like, you're going to become a doctor.
Yeah.
And so then you start going to that. So I went into finance. So
from brake pads
to finance. Look, I can still change brake pads. I still practice in my
and balance the books.
I can still balance the books. So I worked at Canary Wharf in finance, commodities. No, not Men's Gold. Commodity sales. And then the financial crisis happened. So when the financial crisis happened, I was talking to my uncle. My uncle was a radio presenter. He's worked in Ghana for many years. He worked with Radio Gold and all these places. And he actually trains people on the radio. And I said to him, you know what I really miss? I really miss my Music for You days, like going for shows and stuff. He was like, come to Ghana. And it's funny enough you mentioned Komla Dumo, because the first thing he said was, come to Ghana, go meet Komla, and he'll hook you up. So I came to Joy FM. I did a couple of days at Joy FM, and then my other uncle called me up and said, oh, your uncle called me and said you're in town. come to the office and come and work. I don't know if you guys know whose voice that is. Come to the office and come and work. Duke Banson.
Okay.
And that's how I started at Paradise Entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I started off as just an administrator, just writing letters for the guys. And that was around the time they had another sort of artist and they had the club, but then they were just signing 4x4. So when 4x4 came in, I wasn't experienced enough to handle the work with 4x4, but I was doing all their paperwork and running around. So by the time VIP came in, I had more experience. So then they said, okay, VIP is your responsibility. Any noise I hear, it's your fault. Any trouble I hear, it's your fault. And nobody told me that if you're going to get any set of triplets, your triplets should not be called VIP because they were trouble.
The most troublesome triplets you have.
I was like, can I have 4x4 please? And then it just developed from there. So then from there we signed Miss Bell and Chrissy P, and then it got to a point where I was handling all the people, handling all the artists.
Okay.
And then from VIP, that's how I met EL. So I met EL when he was prior to BBNZ recording Ajwafowa with Promzi and Lighter and all of that. So produced the videos. I think Ajwafowa is the first music video that I ever worked on. Like organizing everything and putting it together. And then obviously subsequently VIP's videos and so on and so forth. So it's just been a mishmash for me. I don't think I have like a specific thing. But then in between Paradise Entertainment, one thing I noticed when we used to go for shows, where I noticed that people used to get changes in their cars. People used to get...
Okay.
Yeah, and that's when I sort of developed the backstage.
Business.
I was like, no, I didn't even think business to start off with. Initially, I thought...
Solution
to my artist problems, because there was maybe 3 or 4 events where in the foyer, there had been disagreements. Let's put it like that. Disagreements between artists because of space. So what I used to do is when I get to the backstage of a show, I would create my own area, drinks, change rooms, everything. And we used to actually come in with like partitioning and stuff like that. And that was when we had the first dome. And the first dome had the change rooms, which was good. So you have the change rooms and then we'll start building stuff in there. But you go to other events and it wasn't like that. So we'd start building it. And then when Paradise Entertainment slowed down and started concentrating more on movies, that's when we were like, okay, this is a business that we can sort of go into. And then I started doing some shows. I did the Kerry Hilson and the Bow Wow show. I did the, so many, like Donnie McClurkin and these people who have like full-fledged riders. Because I was in charge of writing the riders for the guys. In charge of writing riders for everybody.
Wow.
And you'd get there and it would not get done. So I would have to fulfill it. Like the boys would say, you said we're going to get Chichinga. Where's the Chichinga? Like things like that. So then it became a business. And it's a business that still goes on. Even though I do events and production and other stuff, that's still...
There are so many questions to ask in this journey, but we'll come to those details of the fight, those questions. But let's pick our CEO's thoughts first of two things on the young girl's journey to want to get into a space like this, and based on what Lenny shared, and then we can hear about your journey as well.
All right, thanks. When I hear young girls like Lenny, and the journey and what they had to go through to, get to this, level, it excites me. I see myself in them. And I advocate for women in my own space. And throughout my journey working, I always... I'm biased, I try to, as much as possible, consider the female. That doesn't. I'm not saying this to say that if a guy is good, I will
sideline them.
Sideline. I don't do that, but I try as much as possible. Yes, I try as much as possible to also go deeper to find a lady who is equally experienced as the guy. And when it comes to all the interview stages, and I'm to make a choice, honestly, and they are all good at what they do or are experienced, I normally will want to pick the female, all because of my journey. I would say my whole journey started in the ICT space, so I'll say in the telecom space. I've worked in the telecom space for over 17 years.
Wow.
I started from Ghana Telecom.
Boss?
Wow. Yes. I started from Ghana Telecom.
Boss is a boss.
I started from Ghana Telecom as an intern. So we're 29 in you know, a mixture of female and male. But when we went into the industry, because it's more of a male-dominated industry, they were, you know, the support was given more to the guys, because the whole idea was, at the end of the intern, people started grappling, I want to work with this guy, I want to work with this guy. So some of us also told us, look, we'll prove these people wrong, because I've always wanted to work in an ICT, you know, industry, and I got advices from family and friends that, hey, this space is a male-dominated space. I'm like, but that is the space I want to work in. So I got the opportunity to be there. I wasn't there to go play around. Whatever it took, that hard work, that determination, people closing late, you know, that kind of mindset, female cannot stay longer at working, but I was there. Going to the field for installation, you see me there in my overall, you know, watching what the guys do, learning, going the extra mile. At the end of our internship, for about 3 or 4 years, they just chose 2 of us. And I happened to be one of them, yes. Out of the 29, yes. It happened to myself and one guy, Joseph, yes. So the 2 of us were picked. And since then, I've worked in the telco industry. From that intern, I moved to freelancer, I moved to team lead. And before I left the telco space, I was a deputy general manager. So I raced through all the ranks.
This is the culture.
Yes, and it happened that when Vodafone came into Ghana in 2009, I happened to be one of them who handled the biggest team ever in the space of fixed broadband, trying to bridge the gap, introduce new structures, new measures, new strategies for fixed broadband. And you know, that time it was a monopoly. It was more of Ghana Telecom or Vodafone doing that. And I happened to handle a team of over 200 across, across Ghana, the 10 regions of Ghana. And I was a female, you know, it wasn't a guy who did it. I was driving the pickups, I was driving the vans, you know. I didn't want to, who would like to drive the pickup? I'm like, I'll drive. I want to drive the pickup. Are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'll drive the pickup. When guys were, you know, pushing for automatic vehicles, I was like, I don't mind. Manual.
Fun fact, Lenny also drives manual.
Yes, so I drive manual. Even as of today, I can drive a manual. I'm able to drive, or you know. So I know. Yes, I don't see myself as, when I go to this, you know, to win in this industry, you don't go behaving like you are a girl. I'm a girl. I'm a this. Really, I didn't do that.
Wow.
I fit in where the men are. You see me there, you know. So when I see young, you know, Gen Zs or millennials like this with these stories.
I am millennial.
It excites me. I just see myself in it because I believe we can make it happen.
We always talk about okay, so we want to appreciate women, and from a man's point of view, a man is asking, like, okay, so what exactly why should we be appreciating women in the first place? And women have something to say about that no, you don't know what it takes to be a woman. Yes. So let's just understand what it takes to be a woman in our space. You know, why should we say that, you know what, let's give a Wednesday to women?
Okay, so
so right, even before that, we give the Wednesday to women, but we give the Monday to the men. You see, the whole thing is rigged.
I think it has to do with
Thursday to throwback, right?
The whole thing is rigged.
Yeah,
I think what we have to understand is, for me personally, I've always taken the thought process that there's always.
Okay, my producer says that he wants you to exhaust the story on how you got into 3
sorry.
Yes. So
okay. Yeah, so as I mentioned, so I'm from Ghana Telecom. So I did about 12 years in Vodafone Ghana Telecom. Then I moved to Airtel Tigo. Now Airtel Tigo. Okay. I did about a year there, and I was pushed to Busy Internet. Okay. So I started a Busy Internet business unit.
Wow.
And I worked there for almost 4 years. Yes.
So
I did.
so when we were coming to visit Internet and enjoying the place,
You were upstairs.
Yes, I was there.
woman
She was
was
She was
connecting
upstairs
the
working
dots for
hard.
us.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So
We've all enjoyed busy.
Yeah. At a point. At a point.
So from there, I got poached to Main One and another ICT company. They have an undersea cable to also manage as a deputy general manager to manage operations and the business or commercial units. So I've been there for 2.5 years specifically, and this opportunity came by. And as I mentioned, my whole life I've been ICT, and I see this to be ICT because media. Whatever we do in media is not so different from what we do in the ICT, industry. I think the only difference here is artist management and, all that bit of things. But if you compare what we do in the ICT space and what we do here, they are just, same. They are very similar. So that is how the opportunity came. And when the opportunity came, I'm like, why not? I am someone who like entertainment, I like music, I like dance. It was like, wow, this is an opportunity for me to now do, enter that space I've loved all these years. So basically, I'm here.
Even before Who Called, right? Especially for the 3 Music hot seat.
Yeah.
We have Baba Sadiq, everywhere. Baba Sadiq, the superheroes, Baba Sadiq. Music industry, Baba Sadiq, 3 Music, Baba Sadiq. Charlie, so this big Baba Sadiq name is sitting there. And then the call comes that, Baba Sadiq is getting off the chair. And out of all the people in the world, you are sitting on the chair of this, this vision, this creative dream and all that. When did the call come? How did it come? And what was your reaction? Because if it were maybe me, maybe I'll fall down small before I get up again.
I think good work to Baba Sadiq. Baba Sadiq have done very well. And I would like the world of Ghana to know that, yes, I can equally fit in that shoe and pick up from where he left off and run with it. So I think it all started with me getting a call that they needed someone to replace Baba Sadiq. And really, I started rather recommending people. I never thought of myself.
It's a typical woman trait.
Yes, I kept recommending.
It's a caring thing, eh?
Yeah,
we always look at someone else.
Yes, this. Then we started doing that. I think most of them went for the interview and it didn't happen. So I was called back. But you can do this job. What's the problem? Why are you recommending others? I'm like, yes. So I never thought of it. Yeah, I can do it. I can do it. So really, just that day, the next day, I was called to come for the interview, and really, it wasn't something like something that I was expecting. I thought, let me just come in. So I wasn't prepared, but I was just myself. I came in and I delivered. To my shock, I was called that the role is mine. I was like, wow, you don't. I started screaming. So basically, that was it. I started recommending colleagues that I thought were in the media space. So when I was prompted that, but this is something you can do. You've done marketing your whole life. You've done, branding. You've done advertising, even though it's in the telco space.
Yeah. Right.
It is the same thing here. And you have other team members to work with who have their own expertise. So what's the big deal? We need that leadership. So you can do it. That was why I was like, it's true. This is something I can do it. Why? What's wrong with me?
Sometimes somebody just needs to prompt you that, hey, do you know that you can do it? Or do you know you've done a lot?
Yes.
Like, yeah.
It's like changing brake pads. When you change your brake pads. Can do everything.
All right.
I will learn
because of you, we'll buy a Volvo.
The C60. That was my specialty.
So, okay. Well, thank you very much. So now we're talking about that, how we should... Why should we...
make space for women?
Make space for women. Celebrate them. What makes them theirs exceptional?
I think what we need to do is there's a slippery slope, right? We need to make space for women, but make space, like she said, space that is necessary. I don't believe in promoting women that don't fit the bill because they are women. I don't believe in pushing women forward when there are 4 men or 5 men who can do it better than she can. I think if a woman fits the space, understand that sometimes it might be a little bit more difficult for that woman to be noticed. She made mention of something about when you're in the telco space, they say women can't work late. I've had so many conversations where people will say, yeah, we want to have a woman hired, but 5 years down the line, she go marry, she go give birth, and she go left their job. So a lot of the times, companies look at it as, in long term, this is not an investment we want to make. And rightly so, because 60 to 70% of the women will get married and leave. But what I think we need to look at it and say, in those 4 or 5 years that the person is going to be there, is she going to give the value for those 4 or 5 years? And there's one thing that females bring to the workplace that men don't, which is a downside for females, but it's an upside for the company. Women tend to share their roles more. Men will grow and grow singularly. They by themselves, I'm going to the top, I'm making it. Like she mentioned before, a woman will say, oh, that new IT job, there's some girl be Jane. She would naturally, that's how they are. They don't think of themselves. They tend to push other people in those spaces. Yes.
I agree with you. I mean, I remember back at YFM, I think Miss Na made a recommendation for me to be programs.
Right. Instead of herself. Somebody will look at herself.
Sandria got me into advertising. Sandria Bruce got me into advertising.
So women will always push for the greater good of the company. And men will always push for the greater good of themselves. It's a natural thing.
I'm quoting you on that.
No, but it's
I like it. I'm not quoting you in a bad way. I love it.
So you, as a company, you look at it and say, right now in our company, what do we need? Do we need people who need to grow themselves, or we need people who will grow their company? So women in 5 years will grow your company, and then men in 5 years, they will be the best CEOs. That one day.
Okay. In the words of Kwejo Agre, if you educate a girl, yes, you educate a nation. Okay. True. So we are going to take a quick break, real quickly. We'll have to swap Cyril because he's the only guy on this side.
You're killing me off the show.
But Liza from Boomplay joins us as well, so that we can have the women, speak more as well about this. Cyril, you don't worry. Eh?
Oh, don't worry. Still Monday. Also
you pick me off.
We'll come back after this break. Well, Liza from Boomplay joins us right here on the show. Don't go away.
Standing in between music royalty right now, the Sugar Daddy and the Clamanya. Make some noise. They loved them.
I absolutely love Herman Suede, and I absolutely love Young Dev.
Who are you expecting to see tonight on the stage?
I'd love to see Aquabo, I'd love to see Kitty, and everyone else.
He said 6, that's a lot of it.
King Kobina says, let's not forget the likes of Tracy Success, to Cynthia Kwaku, to Denta as well, Amarting, I beg your pardon, and to Beryl, also from Echo House, Ghana. Yes, Beryl, shouts going out to you as well. Great job she's done, and so many other people that have been listed here. You can also jump on our Twitter page. It's 3 Music Networks. Hurry up, share your tweets there, tag us, and we'd love to put your tweets as well. Also, don't forget it's 3 Music on Facebook, plus 899 FM across all the platforms with the hashtag Culture Daily. Well, Liza joins us. Liza, good morning.
Good morning, Jay.
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Well, today we are celebrating you. It's Women Crush Wednesday, but it's also realization, or coming to a point where we realize that actually, wait, it's the women that are controlling this industry. That we thought the men were the ones who were doing the work. But even with that, there's a big question I'll be putting to all of you with regards to that. But all our guests here, including our host guest, has shared her story as well. Yeah. Let's hear from you before we jump into our real deep conversations about today. How you got to here. I mean, literally speaking, how you got to the room this morning. This room that we are here.
Okay. So, pretty much, I was listening to everyone's when I was on my way here. So I started as a music fan, pretty much, and I used to rap as well.
Please hold on right there.
Yes. I'm not doing any of that.
Yes. Some of us have some recordings.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay.
So, but along the line, I used to write the music and all of that when I was in like primary school, JHS, senior high school. I'm the one that writes, when there's a new song, I write the lyrics for my seniors, not to get punished, that sort of thing. When I got to uni, I actually realized that I'm not the kind of person who wants to be in front of the crowd. So, and I was also on social media most of the time. I was seeing a lot of the fans say, Ghana music needs to do this, artists needs to do that. I'm like, okay, so what can I do as a fan to actually help propel the industry into whatever stage that I think it can get to. So it was just like a passion thing, and then it started from there. But also, pretty much from a family, typical middle class family, right? You have to be an accountant, because my dad was one, my mom was one, my brother is an auditor, and we're pretty much 2. So everyone is looking at you to go the same route. So after uni, I did my national service with the National Commission on Culture. Okay. And then so I was pretty much still following my passion on the whole art stuff, because I also did visual arts in senior high school.
Shout. Hallelujah. We are here. We are representing.
Yes, we are.
We are representing.
Same here.
There's one for...
Thank you.
You did visual arts as well?
Yes, I started with visual arts.
And I cannot draw. Yeah. I can't even make a circle.
Wow. No, I mean, that fight, I place it separately, because I say visual art students, we always have been seen as this thing. But here we are.
Yeah. Like, and to some extent, general arts as well.
Yeah.
General arts as well. Especially the reading. Hold on. We are not serious.
No.
Especially with the reading. You know, general arts, they have the geography, math, not that one. No. Yeah. The history, French, CRS. How you guys look down on us? Hey,
people really look down on that one.
It's crazy.
Hold on with that fight, please. We'll come back to it.
So
anyway,
pretty much from there, I did fine art in uni as well. So when I was in uni, there were these VC courses that you could take for free. So it was music theory and then music therapy that I decided to take. So when I came back after my national service, my dad was like, you know what? You still have to work in a space that I kind of approve. Yes, so I went to work but I at least I tried it. So I got community relations job in a company in Eastern Region. It was actually an agriculture company, one of the biggest in Sub-Saharan Africa. So, but it just wasn't me.
Wow.
It really just wasn't me. And whilst I was there, I started like helping or assisting some Ghanaian artists.
Okay.
So Walasi Yakan, Manifest, and then I also started managing Brian the Mensa. So from there, I was sending, with the management bit, I was pretty much doing everything on my own with the artists. So I was sending the emails, I will hunt anybody who was willing to listen to my artist's music. Yes, like literally, that's what. Yeah,
and that's how we met.
Listen to my artist's music. Yes,
that's how we met.
That's true. So you have to listen. You have to support, even if you're not. I'm sure maybe you're busy. So I'll remind you again. And then one guy gave me an email list. So because I wanted to send his music to Nigeria radio as well. Okay. So I sent an email to about 50 people. I got one response. It's like, wow, okay, this thing go hard, or Chaleba, we go do So I got the response, and then the person actually thought I was a guy because he said I was constantly sending the emails and sending reminders and all of that. So he now decided to like text me. He actually still thought I was a guy until one time he said, "Oh, can he call me? He needs to speak to me about something." So he called me. He said, "Oh, I actually like your tenacity and all of that. I've heard that Boomplay is coming into Ghana, and I'm recommending you."
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
So it was just based on recommendation.
On bugging emails.
Yes.
Best kind.
Wow! Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. So the lawyer then for Boomplay came to town, and I took him to Champs. Yes, that's where I had my interview.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much. So
over a bowl of chips.
Yes. It was actually salad. I was like, what are we eating this day? Like, but I had to eat it. Yeah. So he was now asking me, okay, so as a new company in Ghana, the first thing we do is try to acquire content, right? So the role is going to be a content acquisition executive, pretty much. Now, which artists can you get to jump onto Boomplay? Because everybody else is on other platforms, right? And I literally said everybody, and I knew just like 2-4 artists. Yeah. So I would say I lied, but I mean it got me somewhere. Yes. So I said, every single artist that you're thinking of, I can get. Yeah. Then they're like, okay, cool, no problem. And then I think it was just the way I spoke to him or the way I speak or whatever. So he was like, okay, I'm going to give you the role. Now you're going to be working with Sadiq. So Sadiq was my boss at Boomplay then. And then
our Sadiq.
Yes. Sadiq of 3 Music.
See on the check.
Yes. So from there we started working. I started speaking to artists, and from there from the executive I became the content acquisitions manager. Right, and then Sadiq decided, you know what, off to 3 Music, I need to start this. So, I mean, the Boomplay was actually looking for general managers as well, and I applied again with other people who were either not in the company, and I got the job.
Wow.
Yes, so it's been maybe 3 years now as a general manager, but it's been like 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a journey.
Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, my producer is telling me anytime that Sadiq, seems anytime Rick Tennyson is saying that anytime Sadiq leaves a company, a woman takes the slot. But congratulations, that is one inspiring journey, and also shows that I like the aggression and that that I want to do this, I can't do this regardless. Something that sometimes maybe men turn a blind eye to, that there is more. There's this push, and you mentioned a very important point about women, why women can do it better. Yeah, something. I mean, let's touch back on that again.
I mean, speaking to her story specifically, yes. It got to a point where, because I was working with Elle and I was working with other artists, I had a lot of young ladies who were managing artists who would come. The attitude has always sort of been, I'm a female, so therefore I should get that position. And one of the reasons why I actually remember, because it was regards to Brian the Mentor, right? It's like, no, I'm here because I'm supposed to be here. I'm good at what I'm doing. Yes. Even the emails that she's talking about, look, a lot of us have tried this bulk email thing when it comes to artists. Yeah. Her emails are so well designed. Yeah. They're so pretty. Like, they're so professional. You would think that you hired some big computer firm to give you some branded, but she was doing it them herself. So it's like you come into contact with people and you're like, they're good at what they do. then I have no problem recommending you or even like feeling good when you take my position. I'm a very competitive person. I like it when people put me on my toes. I like it when a guy will try something because he thinks he's good as me, but I know I'm better than him, right? And I love it when a woman can do the same. But you hardly find women who are willing to like go the extra mile and fight for it. So I think that when you do see them cross that bridge where it's like, okay, now it's no longer one of the ladies. She's just as good as everybody else. Put that person in, they're going to run with it.
You said something important. Let me throw that to Rashida and ask, are women given opportunity or merit? Positions on merit, or is let's try her?
No, I don't think so.
Before we zone it down to what happens in our industry.
I don't think so. Speaking from my journey or the opportunities I've given the young ones, I never gave a person an opportunity based on merit. No. I'm passionate about what I do, and I'm hungry, and I want to succeed. So if you want to succeed, you need to get a professional who can equally,
match your energy.
That is it. So if you go on merit, the base on merit, you will not achieve that goal you've set for yourself. Yes, when the young ones normally come in, as she mentioned, why don't you consider me because I'm a woman, or maybe I'm a lady? But it is up to you. What do you really want? Do you want to bring someone in based on merit, or someone who can really deliver? So I don't think so.
It's so even what I'm even asking more of is it looks like a man had to sit and look at the woman and say that I think you can do it. Let me try you. And that had been ongoing for a while because I listened to the stories that we shared, and it comes off as if that's why I feel that unfairness, that a man has to not look at a woman to give the opportunity because she merits that role, or let us try her as in let me just grant you the chance.
But fully,
and
like
see.
30 years ago, I remember my mom was telling me that after school she decided to go work for a firm, and her family was like, what? We sent you to school to come and sit at home. Like, women were not educated to work. They were educated to be educated and say, okay, this person is middle class, educated, and that's it. So it's changing, and I think it's a mixture of two. Sometimes there's been times where I know people have suggested me because I was the only female. She's a female, give her a chance. My job then is to prove that beyond being female, I'm good at what I do.
You're capable.
Yeah. And there are times where I'm hired because I'm the best at what I do. Still the only. But I think in time, I mean, you all of you ladies, you go into an office and you see a lady at the reception. Sometimes this lady is here because she's a lady. It has nothing to do with their capabilities. She's there because she's a female, and they wanted somebody pretty to have at the reception. So there are times where positions are given like that. It's the same way tall guys are given the chance to play basketball because they are tall. After you being tall, can you play the game? And so, people who travel are given jobs in customer service because they think they have an accent. After that, can you do it? So we are all sometimes given positions based on what we look like or who we are or where we come from. Beyond that, do we take it to the next level and get the job done? I don't think anybody would mention Cynthia Kwaku's name if she was just another entertainment lawyer. But she's amazing at what she does, and she's been able to build a great relationship and great business acumen. Same thing with Beryl. I don't think nobody would WhatsApp and talk about Beryl if Beryl was just, I'm starting a magazine and just left it like that. But she's created one of the biggest youth-based companies in the country. So I think it's what you do with it.
Well, it might be clear, very, very clear with what I'm about to ask, but that's why I'm not a woman, so I can never speak for, let alone even experience. But what are some of the challenges that come with, when it is a woman managing a certain entity,
periods. I know guys hate that.
I mean, and the gender stereotyping.
With that, I think that it's changing, but
the periods?
No, not the periods, but the level of respect.
Yes.
Right? I think it's difficult for some men who fall below the woman's level to be able to take instruction from that woman on that level. Because if it's a man giving you the same instruction, right? If it's your superior who is a man giving you the same instruction, you find that they digest it more than if it's a woman giving them that instruction. And I think people struggle with that a lot. It doesn't happen if it's a woman and a woman, but if it's a woman to a man, it's just the respect, the level of respect. And it will surprise you that they would give a woman in a higher position less respect than they will give to a man in a lower position.
So
he doesn't even have to be top ranking. They'll respect him more than the woman who, and it baffles me a bit.
So I'll give you a quick story. So we went for a show outside of Accra. I can't remember what town it was, but it was a very crazy crowd. And I don't know if you know Kofigo. Kofigo works with L, same height as L. And I remember we were doing the show and people were trying to push. And I was telling one of the event organizers, can you step back, can you handle security? Very firm, very stern. Especially when I'm out of Accra, I'm very nice, right? Because, I don't know, I'm in your hometown, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, can you guys sort out security? Kofigo turns around and shouts and like, almost aggressive, and the guy who's walked away. And later on, I overheard the guy say, "Charlie, the way the woman they talk to me," and I was like, "Me?
Rather,
I was nice. Yeah. This is nice to her." And everybody but it's just like she's saying, when a woman is seen being assertive, she's either a bitch or she doesn't respect.
Yeah, she doesn't respect.
It's a cultural thing. Like that kind of thing. It's a cultural thing. But the thing is, if it is what it is, and I'm in that position, that's my job to be in that position and get it done. If you don't get it done, then you're not competent.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're not competent.
One thing they would even say is, I have your kind at home.
Yes, I have your kind.
My kind.
What should I do with that?
What is that? What is that?
What should I do with that information?
Let's ask Twitter. What is that? What is that?
And the question is, why is your kind at home? Why isn't she at the office?
But what is
doing
that? Like your kind. Like, do you have a photocopy of me? Like, I don't get it.
So to just add up, I think from the 2000s coming to now things are changing.
Oh, they have really changed. They have.
Things are changing. Some years back, it was bad. Oh, you try to you give orders, people don't follow.
Yeah.
Not just because you are.
So I want to ask why. Why do you think that a woman? I'm allowing.
I think it's a culture thing. It's a culture thing. I'll give you an example. One time we were in WA. I will never forget this. We were in WA with VIP, and most of the time when you go into these towns, you get a small hotel and you get the whole place. You lock it down, right? So we got the hotel, we locked it down. Nobody can come in or out because we know everybody there is one of us. And one guy was insistent. He wanted to meet Promsy. And they would call me to the gate. I'll say, sorry, no. The guy, no joke, goes home, gets a girl to sit on the back of his bike. The girl, no joke, kind of looked like me, okay? Pretty, but she was pretty, right? And then he tries and say, where do we get girls? And I said, but this will not let me open the gate. Like after everything, and literally it was the most hilarious thing. I think it's a culture and a thought process where it's like, some people think you are there because you're the female, or some people think, I don't know, there's a lot of men who are not raised right.
Yeah.
There are a lot of men who are not raised right. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of men who are not raised right.
Sorry, man, if I'm not defending us well, but I'm just listening.
And I'll tell you this. So one of the reasons why one of the projects that I work on is the Emmy Awards.
Okay.
One of the reasons why I work on the Emmy Awards is because I think a lot of the issues that females have will be resolved if men are raised properly.
Yes.
A lot. The conversation about women in the office, the conversation about did you sleep your way here, the conversation about you guys work late at night together, so you must be having sex with each other. All those conversations change when men are raised properly. Because I don't think anybody says to you, Jay Foley, you and Elon were in the studios many a nights, so 3 a.m. Oh, there must be something going on. There's no conversation like that, right? But I'm sure with other people in the studio, females, or that conversation comes up. I think when men are raised properly, those things all change.
So in they say there's no smoke without fire, and these are perceptions generated.
Oh, it's
from
burning.
instance.
It's burning.
No, they are not perceptions.
They are reality.
Well, these things are no. I'm talking about the way society perceives the woman in how some roles were acquired, and all these things are not as a result of just hearsays they are actual happenings. Do women sometimes accept that through their own faults, some of these things have been these perceptions have been created? Hence, the reason why a man would think that, why are you, if you are at 3 a.m. in the office, like you're saying, with your boss, like, what the hell is happening?
So I always think that's a judgment on the man. Because if, for example, one of the things I've always had in my relationships is, oh, you come back so late, you run out so late, you're always out. Okay, my question is, if you're in the office till 2, 3 in the morning for whatever reason, I've never thought to myself, oh, he must be having an affair. I always think to myself, oh, God, he's busy. So if I'm thinking that way and you're thinking the opposite,
other way,
maybe you at 3 o'clock in the morning want to get your freak on. Maybe that's who you are.
People say the need arises.
When the need arises.
Yes. So I and let's not negate the fact that, yes, there are people who sleep their way to the top. Women. But there are also men who sleep their way to the top.
Exactly.
I'm hoping.
So just to add up to what she's saying, I think women going forward, we have to, we don't have to give into, I don't want to say something.
No, but
I'm saying something. When you are young, I was very young when I started working in an industry with, male dominated. And you get in there as a young girl, then to be honest, almost all the men want to have a bit of you. That then have to stop. So the fact that Mr. A is making advances and you are saying no, and he sees that Mr. B is also saying this, or maybe sometimes even the boss, and one day they see you at the top, then they feel, hey, this is what happened, because even me, I was this, and I saw that maybe the boss was also making advances, towards her. So maybe, and it's because some of us also give into that.
And it's no fault.
Yes,
it's no fault of
the women.
Exactly. It's no fault of ours. Again, it goes back to how these men have been raised, right? It's just basic as a man thinking that, oh, women are not supposed to cheat, but men are supposed to cheat. Then it takes us back to the family setting. It takes us back to the family setting where, they watch their parents do it and their moms didn't say anything. So they go to that point where they believe that, oh, as a woman, as a man, I can have my wife and have 1,000 other side chicks. And then that's
the wife, the mistress.
Yes. Okay, the wife, the mistress, and the side chick. And then that now translates into when I'm in the office, because I want a mistress or because I want a side chick, my secretary is beautiful. My secretary is the closest to me. I have easy access to my secretary. My secretary can stay with me late in the night in the office. And so if in the middle of the night I want to get my freak on, then the easiest access is my secretary. When I can just call your wife, let your wife come to the office. But no, they would want to. Yes, but they'll want to take it out on the secretary. Now, if this continues, and then the girl gets to that point or is pushed into the corner where she thinks, if I don't give in, I'm going to lose my job, right? Most of these things happen because it's not because the person wants to, but because they are put in certain type positions. Now, if you look at that person's background as well, they are coming from a place where they can't lose their jobs because they are the only ones taking care of family, right? And then this man will push you to that point, and they will go around and now come and say that the girls are, giving themselves away, or the girls are some type of way.
Sorry, not to interrupt you, but I think that women have also done women a disservice with that situation. Yeah. The reason I'm saying that is because I've always had very strong women around me I've been able to have those conversations with. A lot of the time when women are in offices, in companies and stuff, other females are not receptive. So when I'm in that uncomfortable situation, Jane is not there to say, "Oh, forget him, go and report it to HR," or that kind of thing. And so when women start defending each other and coming together, then there is that culture changes. So if you look over the last 5-6 years, that culture has really changed because women are able to get up and say, "No, I don't want to," or "I don't even mind losing my job because of it." Yeah. But if you're, like I said, if you're in a lonely space, and every predator, whether it be a sexual predator, a person who abuses children, if you look at the pattern, they always look for people who are alone. Yeah. So they always look at women who don't have, maybe she's very pretty, and all the other ladies are like, she's pretty, so they're not her friend. Then she's alone. And so then they go after that person. And then the person gets the promotion because she's not having conversations with other females in the office to say, "This is the reason I got the promotion." Then the assumption is,
that's what
she stepped away.
So I actually wanted to add on to what Soraya was saying. I've noticed that men I'm just doing this. Yes. Egotistic, right? I think we equally have to be the same. But again, the conditioning, when you get to a certain point, like if you're the general manager of something, this mantra, women bosses are mean, women bosses are this.
That is what I'm about to ask, actually, about that. But just let's finish this up.
So women bosses are mean, women bosses are this. So pretty much it's been conditioned for us in those positions. Now everybody who we work with has the same mentality that Liza there, you say or be reacting. I'm reacting because you probably didn't do something right. Not because I am a mean boss or I'm a mean person or I'm a mean woman, right? So as Soraya said, the moment they have that ideology, you are then left literally alone on your own. So sometimes we feel like, then we need to be friends, by force friendship with some man or some group of boys or some people that we think are in certain positions.
Exciting. Yeah. So I have done this right by listening, and treading on these conversations is you have to be very careful because there are lots of opinions out there with regards to how men treat women, how women treat women, and how women treat men. So it's good to hear all these, but let's come to the other side of the conversation. Now we've raised women bosses, and we do understand that a woman in her make has a lot of various types of hormonal imbalances. That even a woman can hate a woman just because of her hairstyle that she's walked into the office with. And how a man would handle a situation of that, if I were a male boss and I've seen a female employee and how she's looking, there's a different approach to that as opposed to a woman. And some of these instances, aren't they the reasons why it is difficult sometimes, not for men and women, to work under women bosses, just because of how sometimes emotions come at play for a woman in decision making?
Okay.
I don't think our hormones or our emotions actually make us unreasonable. And first and foremost, there's.
I mean, you never have a guy say to another guy that look at his hair. This guy, no. But you'd have a woman.
Are you sure? You will, Jay.
No, I mean,
it happens.
You can't single out one of situations.
No, Jay. You might not.
It's just like how you are also making generalizations.
You might not say look at her hair, but you will say So this guy, after all the money he makes, see the car they drive. It's the same thing.
How a guy would deal with a guy's situation.
No, what I'm saying is,
I'm just asking that in some of these, the way a woman's emotions work in dealing with issues, does that give a reason why?
I don't think it's based on emotions. If a woman does that, it is not emotion, it's character. right?
Yes.
And how, like, you have to know how to comport yourself. You have to know etiquette, especially if you're going to be in a position where you're dealing with different types of people. My office has a lot of men. Sometimes when I post a video of us jamming together, my mom will say, it's like, are those the number of men in your office? I'm like, yeah. It's like, are you able to, like, handle all of that? I'm like, yeah, it's not a problem. Like, regardless of my hormones or when my period is coming or whatever.
That has nothing to do with
Okay, why are you going
no.
I'm saying that he's losing his mind. Every time you say period,
so
men lose their minds.
it's not a matter of, because I've also been able to understand that I'm dealing with artists like on a regular basis, A-list acts, up and coming acts, like
say ANC.
The drama and the like things around it is insane, but you have to know how to react to it. So it's not a matter of my hormones, it's a matter
how
of
do you react to
so Jay, let me just ask you a quick question.
I just want a practical, like, you know.
But let me ask a question.
Okay.
Do you think men don't have hormones?
No, men do have hormones.
So do you not? Yeah. So do we not think that men have emotions?
Well, if I was going to break down the science, I'd say that there are a lot of other situations that pull a woman into certain. I mean, a man doesn't go through a what do you call it? A man doesn't have
a monthly cycle.
You can't. I can't even dare imagine it.
So
you can imagine what it brings. But like I'm saying, I'm not dwelling too deep.
No. But let me just quickly ask
yes.
this question. So you think that somebody who's been handling her 3-day or 4-day monthly breakdown since the age of 12, when she gets to the office space, she doesn't know how to handle it? She already knows how to handle it.
I dare not ask questions to it, but I'll never finish that debate. But
I'm saying that to say, me, I'll use myself as an example. Yeah. One bad thing that I have, I shout. I shout when I'm happy. I shout when I'm angry. I shout. Yeah. That is me, Soraya, shouting. That is not because she's a woman, she's shouting on me. No, my Soraya shouts. And so, in the same breath where I look at it and say, okay, Joe Foley doesn't talk, he just keeps quiet and then fires you. That is Jay Foley. Mm-hmm. That is not because he's a man.
Men sometimes forget that similar as the emotion of a woman.
Yes,
we critique yours instead.
Yeah.
Yes,
men emote differently.
Yeah. Okay.
Men emote differently from women, so you don't expect. As a man, how you emote, you don't expect a woman to emote that way.
Women emote differently within themselves.
Yes.
And so there's somebody who shouts, and there's somebody who doesn't shout. When I'm given an instruction, and you don't hear me once, twice, in my brain, you didn't hear me because you're deaf. So I'm now going to shout. That's who I am. Yeah. Somebody is not like that. So it's not because I'm a female, that's why I'm shouting. No. So it's not like, that woman there, she shout. No, I'm shouting because you're not listening.
Various roles that each of you play. Now, when you have men and women reporting to all of you, let me start off with you, Rashida. Okay. I mean, this is a crazy place to be in. I mean, Ricky himself is one. He's one bag of noise. And then, creative idea.
Ricky shouts, right? When he's pissed.
Very.
Ricky, he shouts.
But nobody ever looks at this Ricky and say, Ricky, that woman, they shout. But yes, Soraya, they shout.
Ricky wants to achieve something, and he's destined to achieve it, and there's, the production crew, the stip, and all. How does it feel like, in a crazy place like, three music networks, all these things feeding onto your plate, carrying all these years of experience? How do you manage an entity like this?
Okay, thank you.
What strategies do you adopt?
Yeah, Soraya mentioned some. She said she screams. Yes, same with me here. That's my nature. So I'll say that's my attitude.
That's a character.
That's my character. Thanks. Yeah. So, if you hear me screaming, I'm not screaming because I'm a woman or my emotions are high there. It's my nature. So, you asked a question. So, for instance, let me give an example. 2 days ago, we're having a meeting.
I like this.
In the meeting,
yes.
My commercial director wanted something from Ricky. Mm-hmm. You should have been there. This one was saying this, but for me, what strategy? I'll just sit back because they all have a point. He wants Ricky to do something. Ricky is also saying that why should that? And we're just screaming. So in that you don't chip in. for me, what I do is to just sit back, listen to both sides, even though they are all yelling and screaming. But at the end of it all, it's to the betterment of the job.
Okay.
So when I hear from both saying, party man, I say, guys, calm down.
Yeah,
That's what I
get
do.
it off their chest.
That is it. Allow them.
But you notice no one ever says when the men are shouting, oh, they are being emotional. They say, oh, get it off your chest.
So why?
Go through it.
But those are typical emotions.
But that is so to me it's a switch.
Can I throw a shade here? I think you don't think for those to smash their head.
No, men do that. Men do that. But with me, right, I think that I'm very firm and straight to the point. I don't believe in raising your voice to put out your point at all. But I will tell you what I have to tell you, and it will go into your head. Now, this is also because when you're talking to me and you're shouting, I'm not hearing what you're saying. Yeah. Like, don't raise your voice too much, because I won't hear you. So I just assume that however I like to digest information is however I would want to put it out. So regardless of what you do, if you are wrong, you will not find me shouting, but you'll find me telling you, unlike me sitting back and putting everything together and then one day just blowing off steam. If you wrong me today, right, I'll tell you today. If you have to do something and you didn't do it, I'm even itching to tell you. I would still do it without having to, you're supposed to do this. Why did you? No, you're supposed to do this at this particular time. Why didn't you do it? Moving forward, don't repeat it. I don't want you to do that, right? So you just have to know how to, balance, and also know the people you work with. I'll make reference to Soraya, who says she raises her voice because she feels she said it once, she said it twice, and you're not hearing it. So you treat people differently based on how they also want to digest information. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. How does this come and play at Boom Play?
Okay.
You at the top taking a lot of, you are almost the final say, supervising men. How does it work for you?
Okay, so just as it has been said, you look at who you're dealing with. I mean, everybody is different in there, right? The guys are different from each other. Mm-hmm. The women there are different from each other as well. So depending on who you're dealing with and, of course, how many times you've said it. I mean, I don't have to say it this week. I've probably said it last month, right? Mm-hmm. So if I have to say it this week, I might have to react differently to it. I'll give you an example. Myself and Chumesi, he's the marketing manager.
Okay.
You see Chumesi and you see me shouting on Chumesi, but you never see me shouting at my PA. Because she reacts differently, she behaves differently. Chumesi does the same. Chumesi would hear my shouting much better than if I tell him, oh, Chumesi, let's do. My PA would hear my, oh, but I told you to do this. Mm-hmm. Why has it delayed? Mm-hmm. Right? Better than Chumesi, you have to shout.
Like Ricky.
And the interesting thing is, he doesn't take offense to the shouting because he's come to understand that, oh, maybe I didn't do this, I delayed and all of that. And Liza is shouting because this is the best way I probably understand this.
Like Ricky.
And with the artist, I also take the same approach with each and every one of them. Yeah. You would see me and Fameye jamming right now. But he's somebody that we were having a conversation at a point in time, and then he said something. I was like, "Can I cuss?"
Oh, no, you
can't.
Well, I was reading.
So, pretty much, I was like, "Fuck this shit!" Like, you have an ego. I have the same thing. I'm not working for you. Mm-hmm. We're working with each other, right? So, if you think that there was something that was supposed to be done, which we even did.
This is with Famille.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he said it was delayed and all of that, and like the whole conversation. And then he said something, and I was like, we were actually calm. And then he said something, and I was like, nah, you can't say this. So then I flared up. He called everybody in the office pretty much to say, oh, Liza is angry. I said, no, I'm not angry, but I need to. Yes, I need to make my point.
Yeah.
So the guys were like, it was on loudspeaker, so they had everything. So they're like, no, Familia, you didn't try, no. So you see, it wasn't just because I'm
you
emotional.
You do know that Twitter is going to post this and say, Familia, you didn't try. Says Liza.
But one thing is he actually got to know that, what he did was not. So we called, we spoke, and then we literally just. But that's also one thing. Like those things, regardless of who I fight with or who I argue with, does not affect the work that I'm supposed to do for or with the person.
Exactly. Fully, how many siblings do you have?
2.
And are they different, or you treat them exactly the same?
When you say difference in character, or
yeah,
different. That's different.
Difference in character. So you treat everybody differently.
Well, yes, technically speaking, yeah. Oh, I get that. Okay, so now let's talk about let's talk about women empowering women as well, and how that has happened. You know, in the past couple of years. How have women in such influential positions, especially in our media space, knowing very well that the likes of Lenny are trying to get there? We know what happens with I intentionally skip the challenges, those sexual challenges, because it's another conversation for
altogether.
If we started it. But definitely they are going to face, persons like Lenny are going to face these crazy hurdles with huge demands. You hear from the movies when they're doing the casting. I mean, that story has been there over 10,000 years.
Couch?
Yes, that, they have to sacrifice a part of themselves before they get the roles and all these things. How are women empowering women, or has there been any deliberate conversations about, let me place emphasis, in the words of Kwiji Agri, place emphasis on the girl child first? So and has that been happening in your various areas?
So in my personal space, I think I did a little bit of research, and I think sometimes we copy the West, and so I look at how the West has sort of handled things, and I'm not 100% happy with the way everything has gone for the women movement, quote unquote. So I've always looked into alternatives. There's an amazing lady called Ethel Ajololo, who she raises men, and the conversation has always been, if women are not if women say we are not the problem, but the men are the problem, let's raise better men. Let's like long story short, let's raise better men. If you're a woman and you have 2 kids and you're expecting your daughter to cook, clean, everything, and then you expect your son, or your Bema, and he's sitting at home doing nothing, don't be shocked when you marry a man who doesn't do anything, because this is what you people are putting into society. So let's raise better men. I think that women are going to keep meeting hurdles, because everybody meets hurdles. I think unsuccessful people are the ones who don't meet hurdles, right? Unsuccessful people are the ones who don't have challenges and have it easy. I think successful people always have challenges and have it difficult and problems, and they go 10 steps forward, go 15 steps back, and they go 4 steps forward and 20 steps back, and then boom, they go 20 steps forward, and then all of a sudden we see it and say, oh, this person is a success. So I think that those challenges are going to be there regardless of whether they're men or women, but what women can do to make it better is to understand that there are other women also in the space that they can call. I don't think I have any particular issues with any specific women in position. I can pick up the phone and call Cynthia. Like, I talk to Cynthia all the time. Me and Beryl are super cool. I bounce off ideas to Beryl. I bounce off ideas to Bright. Madam Teresa, I call her Madam Teresa because, Madam Teresa from Chatterhouse, like, how dare you not? Madam T is like super cool. You call her up, you have an idea, you have a concept, you share it with her. And I've always let people get close and ask questions if they want to ask questions. Okay. Just make your space available.
I just got a few minutes.
Let me just hear. Let's raise better men.
Yes.
So I mentioned. And from my space, what I do in my previous works, I was a mentor for young girls from school. Try to groom them for work out there, and if there are opportunities, I always try as much as possible to recommend them. But if I recommend you, you are on your own. I'll put in a word for you, but your competence will get you that job. So, notwithstanding, if I will not say because you are a lady at all costs, that role should be given to you. But I try as much as possible to recommend. And if I work with an organization like Ladies Like Lenny and Co., I see they are hungry, they are go-getters. I, as much as possible, pay attention on them. And as much as possible, handhold them and move them to the next stage. Ensure that when there's a role and the men are in, allow her to also, fit in and, do all the pushing and get that recognition that she's this good. So if she's that good in the midst of a whole lot of men, you know what will happen then. Definitely the opportunity will be given to them. So that is what I do currently, as much as possible. As of today, people call, oh, madam, this. Then I recommend them if there's a role elsewhere. I keep doing that. But we need to also work hard to be more competent and know that there's no easy way out there. You need to work hard to move, whether you are a woman or a man.
I think even women bosses are more approachable than men. I don't know, just in my personal experiences. I think they're more approachable. They're easy to communicate with. And then if it goes well for you, trust me, a female boss can be of so much great help, and be more proactive sometimes than a man. We also, in our world, we also have our problems. But before I come to Lynn, let me hear from you as well with regards to how maybe personally in your space you have or you're looking forward to empowering, other younger women or brighter women to also climb up this ladder.
Okay, so for me, one thing, again, the mantra of women hate women, I absolutely hate that thing. I hate it with all my chest.
But it's true.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
So, there's another mantra that I hate, that Ghanaian artists do not write better songs or our songs are not good. Like the same level. Hate it completely. Because, I've had more men hating on me than I don't even know any woman that has hated on me. Yeah. Do you understand? Yes. So, I'm just trying to make everybody understand, or let's try to switch from that particular reasoning, because the moment you think that, once you meet the next woman, you're thinking, this girl said, if I give her the opportunity, you could do, baby, I won't frame me on. Like you're putting too much negativity. Yourself up. But you wouldn't do that to the man. So that is almost a disadvantage to women. Once you think in that regard, that's a disadvantage to women. So it's just
in less than a minute. How did we not even realize that we had actually made women the gatekeepers of our industry? And across board, it's very clear and very evident, that, wow, guess what? Women are the ones in the leadership. And is it that we haven't recognized it?
Yeah, I don't think women are the gatekeepers. I think the numbers are growing, but we're definitely not there. In Ghana, women are 57%.
Percentage is still low.
The percentage is higher than men, so technically we're kind of behind on the gatekeeping. And I think that reason why probably more women are going into these positions is because women don't seek to be gatekeepers. There's a lot of people out there now who are trying to want to be the front of their sectors or be the front of their space and hold on to it. Most women, once they are in those roles, they just want to get the job done.
Well, okay.
Ricky.
No, that's true. Just to add up, women, if we are in positions of work, our mindset is not to be the gatekeepers or to be at the top there. It's always about getting the work done and getting it done properly and ensuring that everybody feels good. You treat everybody good. Basically, that is the mindset. So you getting to the top is by virtue of your hard work and people seeing that you can be there. But that is not really the mindset. The mindset, let me get this work done. And let me get it done properly, whether I'm recognized or not. I need to get it done.
I was going to say something, but it will be like a shade to myself. So, I was going to say that, I think it's just very recently that I have gotten to know that there are women in certain positions, right? And even Boomplay, people do not know that maybe the GM is a woman. So if they could just come out a little, let us see them. But me, I'm still going
to hide.
Yes, but we just need them to be.
But that's a very valid point you've raised. The PR around women in leadership positions is very low. So sometimes we assume that it's actually being run.
But like I said, and it also has to do with modesty. As a woman, if you are saying that, if you are saying that, this woman is the head of this, she say, even though she is, she say, don't say that, it's okay, I'm fine. But if it's a man, the man will own it and come. It's true, the man will own it. It's about just standing up for
Foley, do you know how many times men will be like, congratulations, the CEO. Yes, congratulations.
Yeah.
If it's a woman, she's like, oh, it's all team effort.
Yes,
No,
yes.
technically
Thank
it's not.
you.
Yes.
It's you. You've been hired.
Yeah.
We are not sharing the salary. It's only you. You know. So it's a thing that is part of our natural. And just like men are changing their thinking, women are also starting to change their thinking.
Yes.
I think it's very few women are seen and say, I'm a boss and that's it, and I accept it and I agree. It's changing. We'll get there.
We'll definitely get there. And
We'll get there.
But thank you very much, all of you, for being guests on the show this morning. Truly and really appreciate it.
But next week, Wednesday, will be a woman.
Cyril says, wait for Monday and then we'll tackle that on the end. But thank you so much. I think it's more today deliberately not to argue with and rather celebrate, and that's the angle that I'm.
But whoever won
which we appreciate.
Yes.
Whoever won an argument against a woman.
Whoever won an argument against a woman. Thank you very much, so very much, and to you out there as well, also doing the watching. Coming up next on 3 Music TV, a very well curated Woman Crush Wednesday playlist, Africa playlist. You're going to enjoy that, and also on Plus FM with Irene hosting the Lockdown. Another beautiful person. All right, we're back here same time tomorrow, and my name is Jay Foley, and thanks to Lenny and Cyril as well, and we are out.